welcome everybody to Fren Report Live number 3. I am your host, the Walrus, and with me tonight, give me a second to make sure this is up. Yep, okay, it's working there. Welcome everybody, and seems, are we live on D-Live? Yeah, and we are live on D-Live. Alright, welcome everybody to Fren Report Live number 3. I am your host, the Walrus, and with me tonight I have Ketamine Johnny, aka K-Hole, again, and Jamie Birch is with us again tonight. And for the first time on the show, we have Air Raid Siren with us. So, since last night, things have been... well, they haven't gotten any better, that's for sure. Pull up this... yeah,
on the show, we have
definitely say that. Yeah, definitely. Like, you couldn't possibly say that there's not voter fraud going on. Yeah, I mean, and you could say fucking. The gamer words, you know. Yeah. Definitely. Oh, yeah. Dude, that guy literally was saying, like, oh, there's no black people shooting each other in Chicago. That it's all white guys in black guy masks driving around shooting. Yeah, it's like, what the hell? That's some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Sorry for the ear rape there for a second. Thought I was muting D-Live, and apparently I was unmuting D-Live. Yeah. Oh, before I forget, this artwork that we got up tonight, that was courtesy of Otter and Otter who made that for us tonight. I think I got to crop it a little better so it fits in the screen better, but it's cool. I totally dig it. I can't really explain. Yeah, well, Biden's supposed to do his victory speech tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, so I figured that's probably what I'll be wrapping the show with, is covering that. Yep. So it'll probably end with me screaming at Biden. Probably. And if he does, I'll wait till tomorrow to cover it, but. Yep, totally. Yeah, I think it needs to be resized. Otterfriend was asking in D Live, let him know if he needs me to resize it. And yeah, I think it needs to be resized so it doesn't maybe shave some off the top, or I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what'll make it fit, but we can work with it. Oh, wait, is everybody having problems hearing? I know what the problem is. I gotta fix something real quick.
I work for this black girl, and as soon as she gets there, she's like, "Oh, is it busy today?" I say, "Yeah, we got slammed," and she goes, "Oh yeah, people just want to go out and buy stuff because Trump is finally not president anymore."
Did that fix it, guys?
What?
And
I'm
it
asking
just
on,
like I was
if
on
that
D Live.
fixed. Now what's going on? I don't think it. I'm trying to use different speakers tonight, and now it's not. Okay, you guys can hear them now.
Hello, you guys hear us?
Howdy.
Test.
Gamer word.
F slur. N.
All right, yeah, they can hear everybody now.
Hi.
Nice.
Cool.
But yeah,
it
it just
goes-
blows my mind, dude, that there's like grown adult people in this country who think that like immediately the president changes. You know what I mean?
We need to arrest Keith Olbermann and throw him in fucking prison for what he said on Twitter.
And
I'm not against that at all.
How is anybody old enough to vote and thinks the president takes over right away? Like,
Dude, I literally didn't even respond to her. I just
How many? How is
yeah, I
anybody-
wouldn't even correct him. I'd just let him go ahead.
like,
How is
All right, I'm
anybody
not-
allowed to?
yeah.
How is anybody allowed to vote whose first response to new president is I want to go shopping, buy me some new Nike? Like,
Oh shit.
You and I
Yeah.
both know she didn't pay for those.
Well, yeah.
even if she paid cash, she didn't pay for them.
Wait. Oh, I gotta go back to the slideshow. There we go.
But yeah, it was honestly like I don't want to say black pilling, but it was a little like disheartening to see everyone that I work with just like so happy and excited about fucking Joe Biden. I don't know, man. It's like, God, you all are a lot dumber than I thought. It kind of
Right.
hurts.
Well, they're not excited about Joe, but they're excited about
No more Trump. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Nobody's excited about
it's
Joe.
I
Joe's
don't
not
even-
excited
Yeah.
about Joe. You
How many
know?
people?
once the anti-Trump feeling wears away, they're going to be like, "Oh God, what have we done?"
Right?
But how
Did you
many
see
people-
that? That was floating around that Trump plans on naming.
them?
Yeah, that'd be or not Trump. Biden plans on naming. What's his name? As the Secretary of Defense. I just went blank for a second. Bush's vice president, Cheney. Dick Cheney is his Secretary of Defense. Now,
What?
Are you fucking shitting me?
yeah,
Are
I
you
mean,
surprise me
fucking
at
shitting
all.
me?
that could
Like
just
I
be a
said on
rumor,
Twitter,
but
I am willing to shoot any agent who comes to my house from the Selective Service.
right?
I will be very polite and tell them I have nothing to say.
They're going to be killed.
I'm too old for that shit, so I don't have to worry about it. But
Well, besides, you're not even in the country.
that too, that makes it difficult too. So, but yeah, they don't want my old ass. But I think there's a number of things that would disqualify me. But probably because I've had a fucking FBI file.
yeah, what
since
were you
I
saying,
was at
Ray?
least 15. So
But just in case anybody
Uh-oh.
doesn't know, I'm a Canuckistan, so it'll be a while before I
Uh-oh.
get drafted.
Canada
This
got
whole-
drug into the war on terror too, buddy. Don't
Mm.
get your hopes up.
No,
Yeah.
no.
I'm envying a Canadian for the first time in my life.
Oh, don't. This we're fucked up here, man. We're fucked.
did you see? I forget what site it was on, but there was like a troll that said the headline said Trudeau says that he's willing to use military intervention if Trump
I'm sure that was a joke.
if Trump refuses to leave
Yeah.
office, which is hilarious in and of itself. But then when you clicked on it, it actually said that Trudeau this was actually a surprise. Trudeau actually said that he would support Trump in this. So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Oh,
I didn't see that.
can you believe
that is
that?
surprising.
Yeah, but what I heard was
There's got to be some angle.
Yeah.
yeah, there's got to be something. I don't know. Maybe he hates Biden. Knowing Trudeau, it's probably that he thinks Trump is cuter or something.
I was gonna say Biden refused to sniff his hair the last time they met, so he's upset. By
Right?
it.
He's like, what? My hair's not good enough for you?
Yeah. You didn't touch me like you touched those little girls. I mean, come on.
Joe, smell my hair.
I wonder how Trump's hair smells.
Probably smells like leather and manliness and hairspray.
Sandalwood.
Hairspray. Yes, that's what I was looking for. Sandalwood.
Sandalwood? Yeah, I could see
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Oh, and Magical Feline over on YouTube is saying that the head of the Conservative Party in Canada congratulated Biden on his victory already.
Oh yeah, they're
How embarrassing.
Germany was talking shit too about, oh, don't pour oil on the fire and shit. It's like, dude, kiss my ass, dude. You know?
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
The
What
conservatives.
a shame what's happened to Germany.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say the conservatives in Canada are just absolutely cocked. Like they're not. Yeah, they don't conserve anything. They're not conservative. The last prime minister we had was, I mean, he was conservative, and he had brought in. We had a big change about 20 years ago in our conservatives, and they kind of actually brought in a bunch of more right radicals, and it got, actually conservative. But they've all been purged. They've all been purged. Success killed them.
Right. Yeah, Canada, you didn't see as big of the right wing rising up. You know, like Germany, they had AFD and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Well, when
Marie
when
Le
the
Pen and France. You didn't really see like the strong nationalist populist
no, we're
as
kind
much
of
in Canada.
we're kind of weird here. The nationalist element tends to be like royalists. And
Yeah,
they're kind of out to lunch, man. Like they think it's still 1812, right? Like as far as their politics go.
yeah.
And in a sense, they're as liberal as anybody else, and they're barely nationalistic. But it's
Well,
there's
Jeremy Air Raid Siren is Canadian, and he's the only one that's Canadian.
yeah.
None of the rest of us are Canadian.
Get lucky.
Yeah, we're all normal.
Yeah, yeah. The rest of us are just regular.
It's just all regular.
What are you guys talking about?
Hey,
Eh?
take off,
Yeah.
Hoser.
There's nothing wrong with Saskatoon.
What's funny is when you guys do Canadian accents, you always sound like Americans. Where was Fargo? That's your Midwest, right? That's
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
Dakota.
Well, it's North
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Dakota,
yeah.
so
yeah. So
I
it's,
guess technically it's Midwest, but it's like
So
Canada light.
I can't speak. I can't speak to all for all Canadians, but when you guys are like, we're gonna talk like Canadians here, eh? It sounds like American stuff.
I mean,
Pretty funny.
Yeah.
I'm from Texas, so I don't do a very good Canadian accent, probably.
Yeah. Hey, you don't have
You
that
did
strong
when
of
you'd
an
probably
accent
catch on
anyways,
fire.
Yeah, I don't have a super heavy Texas accent, but I do have one, like a slight one.
You don't have that drawl.
I have it a little bit, but
Yeah.
a little bit is good.
See, I always thought all Americans sounded like John Wayne. I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, that's a good accent.
Well, listen here, Pilgrim.
Yep. Let me tell you who the new president's gonna be.
I'm gonna tell you, gamer word.
I've never actually heard anybody that talks like John Wayne, I don't think.
No, I think he's one of those guys who made up his own accent as he went along.
Yeah.
Invented it himself. Kind of like Sean Connery is Scottish, but I've never heard a Scotsman who sounds anything like the guy.
That's because he's also like Norwegian or some shit too.
I thought he was part Spain. Thought it was like Spain and
It's
Scotland.
like I don't know. He's like part like Icelandic or some shit like that.
Oh. I think, or maybe he spent time in Spain, or maybe I'm just thinking
think
of the Highlander movie.
I think he ended up living
Yeah, I
in
was
Spain.
gonna say.
Oh yeah, he did a really good Spanish accent for that one. I love the movie, by the way. But
Yeah, it is fantastic.
back
Yeah.
home in Catalonia, this is how we fight with rapiers.
Yeah. And he had a heavier Scottish accent than Duncan MacLeod did.
Yeah, exactly.
You brought a knife to a gunfight.
Yeah, wasn't what was that actor's name? Isn't he French? The guy who played MacLeod.
Yeah, Lambert.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he doesn't
Christopher Lambert. Yeah.
even have, yeah. He doesn't even have a French accent. when he
Or as
speaks,
we
but
say
you
in
know
Texas, Christopher Lambert.
Yeah, Lambert.
Yeah. Actually, I heard recently that he like didn't know any English when he did Highlander, and then he like spoke most of his lines like he learned them phonetically.
Oh yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty fucking weird.
Yeah, it's like the Scorpions when they started playing music.
Yeah,
They sang
yeah,
their songs in
yeah.
English, but they had no idea what
No
the
idea what
words
they're
actually meant.
Well, you guys know the French actor Gerard Depardieu.
Oh,
Gerard Depardieu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fuck did you just say to me? The fuck did you just say to me?
Excuse my French.
He did a bunch of English movies, and I saw some interviews with him, and he couldn't do interviews in English, like he couldn't speak it. So everything was you learn the line, you say that line, and it doesn't matter if you know what the fuck you're saying. Right?
Yeah.
Like, a movie, who cares, right?
Yeah, it's all about delivery, right? So
Yeah.
So we had a French Duncan MacLeod and a Scottish Spaniard, and
Yeah. That's cultural appropriation, man.
damn
Come
right.
on, man. Come on.
But
Hey,
white
does,
people, it's okay.
bro.
White people don't have any culture, so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I know this is old news, but did anybody ever figure out what the hell was going on with that bloody eye? Biden's fucking eye suddenly welling up with blood.
No,
Yeah, he burst a blood vessel in his eye, I think, probably.
but to go back a few, about 2-3 years ago, there was this whole weird thing about like all these. I think like Podesta had it. All these politicians and actors and shit. It was like they all had like the weird eye thing.
Oh yeah.
So there was some of the far out conspiracy theorists that you don't even find cool conspiracy theories like this anymore.
No,
But,
well they shut it all down, right? Like
yeah, well they shut down that operation because it wasn't working, I guess, or something. Yeah, switched it all to Q.
yeah.
The whole
No, but you used to be able to go on like all the normie media stuff. You go on YouTube. Once again, there's obviously 2016 and before.
Yeah.
And you could find all this wonderful, crazy stuff. It was all just out there, right? And now it's
you
it's
could fall
gone.
into these crazy rabbit holes about like some
Yeah, like,
worms taking over their brains and it crawls in through the eye, and that's why they all have black eyes. And
yeah.
all
But
kinds of crazy shit like that.
It was fun and
entertaining. It
Yeah.
was entertaining. It was like way more entertaining than anything on TV. You know,
But
didn't necessarily believe it, but
No,
it was entertaining.
they didn't shut it down because there was some guy saying, "Oh, they're lizard people," because anybody with any sense didn't believe that garbage.
Right.
But and not saying that they're not, but
Yeah.
Not saying I have any sense, but
Well, exactly. Hey, I don't think I've ever claimed to be a sensible person, but it was a way of communicating actual important things, and that's why they shut it down. It was a way for people to connect with each other.
well,
that's
and
why
we
they
kind
shut
of
it down.
broke the code because, like, when you got, when you knew you got to a little piece of truth, because when you broke through that, then there'd be like a million new conspiracies branching off of that,
Yeah.
trying to and so like that's kind of how you figured out how to navigate. You're like, okay, well that one leads into nowhere, that one leads into nowhere, that one leads into nowhere.
And
You know,
then
after a
also
little
we-
while, you could figure out, okay, like if it's talking about aliens, it's pretty much guaranteed to be bullshit. If it's talking about fucking some far out whack, who knows what. I mean, not that there isn't weird stuff out there, but
Well, there's also tidbits. Most of the time, there's tidbits of real information involved in it, right? So it'd be like, oh, there's this cult, and they do this and they do that, and then you find out, oh, look at these weird buildings on Pedo Island. Well, you don't give for me, I don't give a rat's ass about the secret rituals and the blah blah blah, but you find out about Pedo Island from it,
right.
right? And then you follow the next step yourself, right? And then you go, oh crap, I didn't realize that these people and these people did this on this date and passed this law, and they're involved in this corporation and this thing and this thing.
And like I said, there is plenty of weird stuff out there, because like they have Pedo Island, that was a full-on tinfoil hat conspiracy theory, and they
Well, that's
did
just
use a
crazy,
virus
man.
to lock us all, the whole world down inside their houses, and that was a crazy conspiracy theory. Before we go on, I want to recognize Horo donated 2 lemons on D Live. Thank you for that.
Oh yeah,
Highly
and
appreciated.
sorry to hear that you're Canadian, Horo. My condolences. We'll go grab some poutine later, eh?
Yep.
Bro, now I'm starving.
I was not very impressed by poutine because
Where did you have it?
Vermont, and I've had it. And
Well, that was your problem right there.
Well, that was one of the problems. They called it disco fries there, but I've also had it in Quebec.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've also had it in Quebec and in Toronto.
There's I don't know if it's still around, but there was a restaurant chain in Quebec called La Belle Province, which is the beautiful province. And it is you go in and everything's outdated, and there's steamed hot dogs for 50 cents and this type of stuff. Their poutine is just like, here's, McCain's frozen fries, and it is the best poutine you'll have. The plainest, simplest, there's nothing fancy about it. It's that can of gravy that they use and those cheese curds and just regular ass fries, and that's how it's done.
Yeah, it's like in Philadelphia, the best cheesesteak is from Pat's, and they just use like Cheese Whiz.
Yeah,
the best
yeah,
one
yeah.
is with the Cheese Whiz and
shitty
Miracle
beef,
Whip.
that's like the best.
Yeah, and you're gonna
Yeah.
walk in. And go, this place looks like a dive, and you're gonna eat their food and go, whoa, this is what everybody's talking about. This is it.
Dives have the best food many times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best place to get a burrito in California is from the little shitty Mexican place.
Mhm. I only went to Vegas once, and when I was there, we ate mostly at the crappy or the smaller restaurants. That was the best food to get, and we'd get these like football-sized burritos at this tiny little burrito place on the Strip.
Yeah.
And they're like whatever, $5 American or whatever. That's like $800 Canadian, but I mean it's a big burrito. It's a big burrito.
Your currency is a joke. Called the loony.
The
we got
loonies and toonies.
Yeah, the loonies and the toonies, eh? Going down to Tim Hortons, large coffee costs a toonie now. Usually, our money is like ridiculous. We got some rando friggin' Black Queen on our $10 bill now. I've no idea who the hell this is.
The fuck?
Like, dude, they're like not even whenever this lady was alive, they weren't even 1% of our population. Completely irrelevant. Have nothing to do with the history of Canada of any note. And there they are on our money because we got the diversity party in,
Right. At least Americans have white men on their money still. Except for the Sacagawea crap. But for the most part, at least on the bills, we got...
Well, Sacagawea was in a way kind of helpful. She did help Lewis and Clark.
Yeah, and she was at least like American,
I bet she was hot in real life.
I don't know. You ever been to the res? Like, there's not a whole lot of hot chicks floating around, but
I've seen hot native chicks.
yeah, they're not a high proportion of them.
Well, no, not at all.
Now, personally, I don't have the red fever, and I'm not, I don't condone that. But yes, I've seen some really hot ones. But it is what it is. I mean,
they don't tickle my fancy, but
Oh, dude, you don't like babes who get drunk off shampoo?
no, they are only.
Around drinking mouthwash all day?
Yeah,
How the
my
fuck
women
do
are
you
only
drink off
allowed to drink
shampoo?
Listerine or Sterno.
Okay.
Shit. That's,
millionaire walrus here, buddy.
I gotta
Millionaire
draw the line
walrus.
somewhere.
Huh?
The
The guy's got class. Got to say that. Gotta give him
Rosa
that.
Parks of Canada.
What's that?
Oh, what?
Carso Orlon on YouTube saying Desmond on the $10 bill. She is the Rosa Parks of Canada.
No, fuck. She can get fucked. Then get back to the back of the bus.
Right.
Yeah, back where you fucking belong, dude.
Shouldn't even be on the fucking bus. Invent
Bro,
the wheel. Then you'll be allowed to be on the bus. Thank you.
I love how the black nationalists and the black nationalists and the black separatists are like, well, we
Hold
want
on,
to
guys.
be,
I'm going to swap out my headset
we're
really
going to go on our own. I'm like, okay. They're
Yeah.
natural allies, dude. Because
Exactly.
they want the same thing we do.
They're the only people I agree with as far as this kind of not on our side group, the ones who want to go off on their own and do their own thing.
But they
Like,
don't want to go back to Africa. That's the problem.
No. But I mean, in all honesty, taking one of the states, United States, maybe it's going to last for another 1,000 years. Who knows? But I mean, in all honesty, if it broke up a bit, it might be a little bit safer and a little bit better. Not encouraging it, but if they had their own little place to live and you could put up a nice border wall around it and say, you guys are got to deal with your own shit, we're not helping. It would be awfully, I mean, it would be beneficial.
Could give them, but
Alright,
what
can you
would we
guys hear
give
me?
them? Mrs. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I mean, I kind of said this as a joke, but I mean, I put this on Twitter. If you want to really, solve this election crisis, just have everybody who, is Democrat and wants to be Democrat go to one side of the country. Everybody who wants to be Republican go to the other side of the country, and then the Republicans can build up a wall really quick and say, "There you go."
There you go. Right?
Like,
I would totally agree with that in like a world free of,
Well, we
the
tried
J
that
is-
once. We tried
Uh,
that once,
I feel
and
like-
they weren't very keen on it. But
Or what if now? Just hear me out. What if we had a system where the states had more power than the president did? So basically, it didn't matter who the president was. Each state could just do their own fucking thing.
that's the
They're
way it
still
was
a part of the
supposed. That's the
union,
way
but-
it was originally
Yeah.
designed,
was
and
gonna
then that's
but was-
really what the Confederacy was fighting for in the
wasn't that in
Yeah.
your
War of
Consti-
Northern Aggression.
wasn't that whole thing in your
Yeah.
Constitution? Like, I don't know your Constitution off by heart, but I seem to remember something about the states having their rights.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess that's gone out the window, but I mean,
And it was that's
So
what.
if your state wants to legalize marijuana, that's fine. If your state wants to legalize abortion, that's fine. But if your state wants to refuse to recognize the National Firearms Act, or if your state wants to say that, hey, anyone can own a machine gun without having to go through the federal government first, well, then all of a sudden the federal government will send in its cronies to come in and take you out.
exactly.
But
Well,
Well, that was the
If-
thing.
yeah.
Is there's supposed to be certain things that, if you're going to be an American state, that you had to abide by certain things like the, freedom of speech, the First Amendment, Second Amendment, well, the Bill of Rights,
Yeah.
essentially.
You can't add restrictions to it. You can only add, I guess, less restrictions to it.
yeah.
Yep.
Like Arizona, for example, even though we illegitimately voted for Biden, our state law is that if a local cop busts you with a machine gun and it's not registered, they are not required by law to notify the federal government.
Yeah.
Well, that's
You
cool.
know, you're only subject to any state restrictions on that, or any state punishments for it. They're
Well-
not required by law to notify the feds.
Yep. And that was like the first big one. Transgression onto the Second Amendment was the whole no machine guns and all this shit.
Yeah, the
right?
National Firearms Act of 1934 that we're still fucking stuck with today.
Right.
Luckily, that $200 tax stamp that they put in place in 34, because they judged it off so the price of a brand new Thompson submachine gun was $200. Add another $200 to the tax stamp, $400 would get you a brand new Ford Coupe. So
Yeah.
the average
Yeah.
Americans, now that only affected the average American because gangsters had all the money. They
Yeah.
didn't care, so they still got guns illegally, and even if they wanted to get them legally, they could.
Yep.
So it only affected the average American, and that was unconstitutional, but they didn't give a shit.
Well, you know
Now
why that
today,
really got
obviously,
passed? Because
Right,
1934, that was the height of the Great Depression, and right before, and everybody blamed the banks. And so,
Yep.
there was Bonnie and Clyde in Texas, you had
I was
Babyface
about to say that.
Nelson. They were all just going
Yep.
on these crazy bank robbing sprees. And the people saw them as heroes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Think about that. You've got somebody like Bonnie and Clyde who are murderers. They're roving around the countryside murdering
At
people.
the end, and there was some
but they're
yeah.
they're viewed as heroes because they were fighting the banks.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter,
Yeah.
And that's how bad things were. That I don't think we should sugarcoat it. Like they were.
Oh, shit was horrible.
People.
Shit was horrible.
Yeah. But they were dangerous people. I wouldn't want them over for dinner, But
I'd have them over. I wouldn't fucking care.
Well, I've known enough people. I've known enough people of that kind of on that kind of side of the law over the years, and I mean, it's you can think about you can think about them however you want, but people
Well, and that was the big thing with Bonnie and Clyde was at first they didn't hurt anybody, and then there was one bank manager, I think, that got shot, and then that's when the whole thing kind of soured on them. And they really pushed that in the media and stuff because, guess who runs the banks? They also run the media,
Well, yeah. I wonder who that could be. It's weird, like a small percent of the population.
Who the Jews? Sorry.
Hey,
What's wrong with that, man? You're saying that they don't have our best interests in mind?
Who are you talking about? I didn't say anybody in specific. I just sneezed.
Yeah, exactly.
I just sneezed out of my nose.
God bless you.
Your nose
God
knows.
bless you.
Your nose knows.
The nose knows.
Next time I sneeze, I better make sure my funny hat doesn't fall off next time I sneeze. But we're not talking about anybody in specific. I mean,
No, yeah.
It's merely coincidence that whatever group of people I mentioned, I happen to be talking about.
Yeah,
we're
definitely not talking
media,
about anybody. We're definitely not talking about anybody that died in the Holocaust.
No.
Yeah.
No. Oh, what? Oh, wait, the what?
Never forget. The 6 million people who rode the Holocauster.
What's a Holocaust? And why does it cost $6 million? What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Isn't it?
Are you saying
million
this
or 33
happened?
million or something now?
Yeah, it was like 3 people died or some shit. It was really bad.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
just heard something about swimming pools, soccer fields, brothels, daycares. I don't know.
Chimneys that weren't even attached to furnaces, shit like that.
Yeah.
Well, they work better that way, right?
Yeah, well, that's why I've heard.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no! See, there's a
Called modernism,
down there.
right?
Yeah. If you're gonna bake a lot of
There's scrubbers
pizzas,
that
you
get
gotta have like that little bit of air in between the chimney and the building. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that like supercharges the oven.
Yeah,
right?
it really helps.
A lot of people don't know how combustion is a science, man. Like it's the Germans. The Germans had the science. They had it all down.
Yep. Nobody ever accused the Germans of not knowing their science.
Yeah.
Do those people that we're not specifically talking about? Do you think they ever get cremated when they die? Because that'd be a bit fucking ironic, don't you think?
Oh, God.
I guess it would depend on how many died because you can only cremate so many at a time.
Right, so many at a time, yeah.
Right.
Well,
I mean, I've heard that you can, like, render the fat down and then use that as fuel. So...
Oh, yeah, I mean...
you can make soap out of it and candles.
Oh, that's a good idea. Don't be wasteful, especially
when they first built, before they built the Paris catacombs, there was a lot of flooding in France. So a lot of the bodies that were in there were like soaking in like water underground. So they developed like corpse fat. Yeah, it's fucking nasty. But they dig up the corpses and take all that fat, and they'd make soap and candles out of all that corpse fat and sell it on the market.
Nice.
That is foul. Is that real? Is that true?
I know. Yeah, and then they started making the catacombs. That's fucking disgusting because people were fucking retarded back then.
I know in New Orleans they had to.
You gotta admit, people were pretty fucking retarded back in the day.
The reason New Orleans
yeah.
has those crazy like built up above ground cemeteries is because
Yeah.
the water table is so high that when they bury them, they bury
Yeah.
somebody on
Yeah.
Friday and Sunday they were floating up in the river. And
That's fucking nasty, dude. Fucking nasty.
That's fucking disgusting.
Well, why can't you just?
Have you
Why
ever
can't
seen
you
that
just?
video? Have you ever seen? So you know when they at a funeral home when they embalm you, all your fluids and all the shit that they get out of you goes into a big giant tank underground. There's a fucking video of like a fucking
Lovely.
funeral home somewhere where that tank is starting to overflow into the fucking road, and it's just
Oh.
a giant river of just
Oh.
blood and chemicals. It's disgusting.
It's like the fucking
It's fucking
Shining and
scary.
shit. See, they don't do
Yeah.
that here in Bulgaria. When somebody dies, you have the funeral like the next day.
They
Yeah.
just put you in
You
the
know.
fucking. When I die, just throw me in the trash.
In all honesty,
Right? Just I don't. All that shit's for you. I don't
With
care what you
modern
do with my
refrigeration-
body 'cause I'm not using it anymore.
with modern refrigeration,
It
we
don't
don't need
work.
embalming
It
the
broke.
way we used to.
And when I break a bottle, I just throw it away.
Well, it's good for preserving the body because if you're gonna have like a public viewing, or an open casket, you're gonna be sitting out for a little while,
Oh yeah,
and you
but-
might start to stink a little bit, and that's no good.
Well, yeah, that's why I said like here they just do that. Like,
And they don't want you
next
to be
day.
like fucking bright like fucking blue from being frozen.
yeah, like I
Well,
said,
they-
here they
they'll
just
have to,
do that the next
Deep
day,
freeze you, man.
and then they put
Why
you
is
in the
Grandma in a
ground.
giant comically sized Scooby Doo icicle person?
That would- I'm all for that. That'd be awesome. They put you in a big block of ice.
Freeze you in it. It's like, oh, the
It's like a-
freezer a little too long.
A crazy expression in your face, and your hands up, going like ah. I'd be all for that, man.
Like
Right.
Austin Powers,
Yeah.
just covering your dick and balls.
They froze Grandpa. Oh my God. Ah.
Oh,
You could have some fun after you're dead with that, or your family could have some fun with that. If you're
Just turn
dead.
your
Yeah,
body
my
into a
family would
puppet.
definitely enjoy it. They'd get a kick out of that.
Yeah. And after the big reveal,
Just
everybody
put explosives in your body. Put explosives in your body, and then blow you up. Everyone's just like, "Look! I got a hand. Oh, I got his penis. Oh, okay."
I got.
Everyone's just like
I don't know what
happy
this
because
is.
they got a part of your body. Like, I got his foot. Look at me. I got his foot.
Could be a spleen. Could be an appendix. It's some type of
Could be anything.
internal organ.
Could be anything.
With some random mush. Yeah, wait till they blow it up and use them like a pinata.
Just
All right,
fill my
but
body
Blythe, I'll
with
start
candy and
swinging.
beat me to death.
All right, this took a morbid turn tonight, didn't it? Uh-oh.
Foot Locker.
Oh yeah.
Of course,
What
of course, yes.
All
What's a right-
Sorry,
what's a
folks. I had a little bit of a network hiccup there for a minute, but now I'm back.
what's the riot situation like down there? Like in
Where?
the past couple of days.
Why would they be rioting right now? They got their guy. What the fuck is their problem?
That never
Bro,
stopped them
have you
before.
ever seen the Lakers win?
Matter of fact, let's see what's going on.
Oh,
with
there's
riots
oh,
right
oh, it's
now.
for a sports shit. Okay.
No, I'm saying that like I could see them rioting in the same way that like when the Lakers win or whatever.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
They used to say that about Montreal.
Oh.
If the Montreal Canadiens won, they'd riot. If the Montreal Canadiens lost, they'd riot.
I didn't know you guys had that many blacks in Canada.
No, it's the French. They're
I don't know. I
they're
don't
like-
remember if it was a Black Lives
Oh,
Matter
well.
protest or riot, or if it was like a sports riot. But remember, like it was like earlier this year in St. Louis, some fucking people tried knocking over the fucking arch over the Mississippi or the Missouri. Where's the arch? Is it over the Mississippi or the Missouri?
Oh, they're
forgot.
writing somewhere here right now. Let me see. Where is this?
Oh yeah, what is sorry, the oh.
Dude, on a
Oh, okay. No,
on election night.
they're not actually writing right now.
Okay. Yeah, on election night, my city was fucking popping off.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of gunshots and fucking sirens all night.
Oh, Jesus.
I
Well, you
live
want
like
to know
10
something
miles
weird?
out
You
of
know
the
when
city.
when you know on
Wait,
election
Trump's
night, no, it was the day after election night, and everyone went to the Maricopa the Arizona State Capitol in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Guess what? I drove over there because I wanted to participate and get some pictures for you guys. And guess what? There was no one there. There was no one there. I thought I missed it, but then I realized, wait a minute, what if this is all made up? What if there are no fucking protests going on over there, and the media's just trying to make us look bad? I don't know where the fuck everyone was. I was there, and there was no fucking mass of people.
Well, the media wouldn't lie, would they?
Oh my
Of course
God,
not,
they
Goy.
have our best
What it
interest
was?
at
No.
heart, don't you? Don't they?
Oh,
I
why would
think-
I
think
lie to
a
you,
large group of
Goy?
people showed up, expressed their displeasure with the fucking election process that's going on right now and the fucking fraud, and then they all peacefully left.
Well, of course.
That's probably what fucking happened.
Of course.
They were gone in probably less than a fucking hour.
And this is one of our strengths and also one of our weaknesses is that we tend to obey the law. Right?
That's true,
Yeah.
yeah.
People and I'm not knocking it, man. Like this is what makes civilization. It's people who obey the fucking law.
You know,
But at the same time, it's our weakness because if there were every Trump supporter, I mean, you could say that it would end up badly for us, and it'd end up badly in some sort of a civil war martial law situation. But if every Trump supporter took to the streets and said, "We've had enough, fuck this," like it would be, you couldn't ignore it, and that's the key. Is that they could spin it however you want, but you couldn't ignore it.
Right.
And I'm not advocating
Yeah.
that. I'm just saying that if it's like the Black Lives Matters thing, it doesn't matter what their purpose actually is. It doesn't matter what they're accomplishing. It doesn't matter what they're really doing in the streets. The fact is you can't ignore it.
Right.
And I think, I mean, that's one
Yeah.
of the reasons why Trump had the numbers he had was that you couldn't ignore it. And people were like, fuck this.
Yep. But
And if
that
you
doesn't
count it
mean
out-
they can't cheat it, apparently. Although they can't do it.
yeah.
They can't do it surreptitiously. Apparently. Because it's so goddamn obvious. Like. Oh, and I love it because they're all like thinking they're taking their victory laps right now and shit. And of course, they
Well,
call
see,
it.
You know, they know there's a voter fraud going on. They just don't care.
Yeah.
Well, this is it,
'Cause
right?
I think because they're getting their way. They don't realize that, like, if there's this much voter fraud, it can fuck with them too.
Oh yeah.
They
It
don't
can
care.
fuck
That
them
does-
up in the future too, and they don't realize that. They're fucking stupid.
They
Yeah.
can't see past the ends of their noses.
Well,
Because here's the thing. We like to make jokes about how we want Hitler back and all that stuff, but like realistically, that would not be a good thing, right? That wouldn't really actually be a good thing if we actually got Hitler.
I respectfully disagree with you there, but
what I mean is,
I don't
like,
know.
Hitler took the
Some of their
guns away,
tactics
Hitler,
weren't
did this and
exactly
that, you know.
what I would use. That's for sure. I'm
Yeah.
aware.
What I mean is, like, somebody, a tyrant. Let's just say that an actual tyrant comes in, you know, takes our guns, this, that, and the other. Well, but he actually starts doing this shit. Well, if he rigs the election, and the liberals hoot and holler about it, well, guess what? This shit that you're defending now could come back and bite you in the ass. You know,
Exactly.
so
absolutely. But
I
Believe
I'd
people
really
don't think
suggest
further
if
than their
there's
nose.
if
that you see
Which
that
is why
that's-
certain of them can see a little bit further than the others because their nose sticks out a little bit longer, you know. But
that kind of situation is much more likely to happen with something like the establishment Republicans than it is with a wild card, right? They have the established. If they regain any amount of establishment, they might cheat and put those guys out, and see, you lost, and there you go, all this vote fixing. But if you have a wild card, and Trump is one of them, I'm not saying they're politically or ideologically the same, but when you have wild cards like that, they're not the establishment, and they can't do that vote rigging until they
Right.
until they gain power. And honestly, in the 1930s in Germany, they didn't have to rig votes.
All right, that was a complicated
Yeah.
situation.
No, but I mean, I'm not, advocating anything or saying I'm on this side or that side. But the fact is, they didn't have to rig votes. I have half of my family's
Well,
from there.
here's the thing that kind of worries me a bit. Let me tell you something. So you want to know? You know how Roosevelt served 4 terms? Well, he didn't serve all 4 of them. He fucking died. But you know how he got elected for 4
Like a
times,
bitch.
right?
Yeah.
Because one started with the what was it, the New Deal or whatever it was, and then people were like, you know what? Let's elect him a 3rd time. Then World War II started, and you know what their excuse was? Well, we got all these young men fighting overseas. There's no way for them to vote.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
obviously, we have ways for soldiers to get their ballots in a wartime. But let's say Harris, because we know fucking Biden's not going to make it to inauguration.
Jesus,
Maybe he will, but not long after that either.
He won't be important. He won't be.
Let's say we get into a war with China.
I mean, they could pull
Let's say we
Woodrow,
get
what was
into a
that?
war with
Woodrow
China in the
Wilson
Third World
that
War.
had a stroke in his, what is it? His 3rd term, I think it was.
Yeah, and no one knew about it. Yeah, no one actually knew about it.
And his
yet
wife
until,
just
after.
basically did everything and wouldn't let anybody see him ever, except for like one of his quote unquote close aides. Which so
Ever seen
we
the
could have
movie,
Jill running the
but
country.
anyway,
I could
as I
see
was
that.
saying- Well, I wasn't. Yeah, but anyway. So, what I could see happening is, let's say we get into Harris, decides to get us involved in a third global conflict, and now their excuse is, well, we can't. Well, we do have ways of getting ballots to our soldiers, but it's just there's no. It's too hot. It's too dangerous to send them over there because we're risking, mail delivery, all this and that, And so they're going to say, well, we can't. We have to postpone the elections for another, 4 years or some shit.
Yeah, but they can just say
So
we
Harris
sent
ends
our
up,
ballots.
pretty much becoming,
We sent the ballots to the soldiers, and they take them out of the truck, walk 5 feet, walk back to the truck, put them back in the truck, drive them over to the reporting center. Like, it doesn't matter at that point, right? Because they'll just make up the votes.
Yeah, but like, I think
Yeah.
you guys are projecting too far ahead because they don't really. They want this to be a very contested, because they actually want to break the U.S. apart.
Yeah. Well,
there's a whole lot of reasons, but
this is kind of one of the things I was thinking about was they expect Trump to win, and they expect Trump to win even now.
Yep, they still expect Trump to
But
win.
they want it to be so contentious.
Exactly.
They want it to be so contentious that it allows them to mobilize a civil war in the United States. I mean, I'm not saying that is definitely what's happening, but it seems to look that way, right? Like them waiting so long to call it. Normally, under circumstances like that, where it's all this bullshit going on, you think they're just saying, no, we're calling it. That's it. We can't look at anything anymore. We're done. And they waited so long.
Yep.
And I thought that was really weird how long they waited.
That's going to be a very dumb. That's going to be a very dumb decision on their part, because here's the thing: most of the members of the military who are actually carrying rifles and killing people for a living, not in a bad way. I'm not trying to say that to demean the military. That's just part of the job is having to put people down sometimes. But all those guys, the guys who are actually in the shit, those are all Republicans usually, or conservatives, or at the very least libertarians.
Well, and
they're not going to be they're not going to be in favor of attacking American people. And then you've got Trump support. So basically what's going to happen is everyone's going to know that the liberals are the ones who fired the first shot to start the Civil War.
Yeah.
So all we have to do is make sure we win said Civil War, and then everywhere for the rest, everyone will know who started it, because those fuckers will not be able to rewrite history to make it look like we started it.
Because they tried to
win.
do. Well, it was the Democrats and during the Civil War that was actually on the shit end of the stick, and the Republicans were the aggressor. But they were actually able to be such a pain in the ass to, to like threaten the South so much that they supposedly fired the first shot.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, they put them in a situation where they had to act.
Actually, no. What was the? When did the battle start? It was at an armory somewhere, some shit like that, or at a fort.
Well,
I forgot
what was the name of the
Fort Charleston? No, the Union were the ones. Didn't the Union fire the first shots on that fort?
That I don't know.
Okay, I'm sitting in front of a computer. I can figure it out real quick.
But what I was about to say is that this is, in my
believe
opinion,
they said that the Fort Sumter.
Yeah. That sounds familiar.
They said it was a Confederate strike on Fort Sumter, but the very fact that because that was, and they had already signed the secession papers, so
yeah. But one of the reasons I think that propaganda is so important right now is that we have to be able to keep the people who are potentially going to be soldiers for either side on our side. And there's a lot of people who aren't necessarily think like us, or really think very much, to be honest, who are, would be very good allies and very dangerous enemies. And if they don't view that they're on the right side, or that if they don't think that we're on the right side, then they're not going to fight with us. They'll either sit it out or fight for the other side. Like, there's a lot of police officers, a lot of military people who are just basic NPC types, right? And they might be a little bit on the right side, but when it comes to
and as long as we, like you were saying, as long as we won, it could definitely be argued that they fired the first shots months ago.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. But we've got to keep it that the Donald Trump side is the working class, is the average person, is the family man and family woman and their children, and we're peaceful and we're not radical and we don't want trouble. I think it's one of the mistakes that people like me made in 2016 is that we were having too much fun with it, and we allowed ourselves to be portrayed as radicals, where going, I'm just a regular Joe. I'm not posting these memes and this stuff and this 4chan stuff, which, I mean, it would be a lie. It would be a lie to an extent, but it's also not a lie. I'm a family. Well, I have kids. I'm separated from my wife, but I was a family man at the time, and I guess I am a family man. But I'm a regular Joe. I got a regular job, and I'm not crazy or weird or anything else. I just go to work, and I want to have a good job, and I want to have grocery stores full, and I don't want this craziness. Right. And
it's funny because as radicals, we actually have like the common sense position. You know what I mean?
No,
after what happened in Charlottesville, they've been trying to egg us into anything, and we're like, no, we're not stupid. They
were doing that long before, but that was really the public demonstration, the in real life demonstration of it. A lot of people took the bait, and a lot of people listened to the media reports about it. Right? It was
we saw what the media did to us and everything, in that where like. I say us. I didn't go because I knew that was a fucking setup.
And this was always shit like. I'm not gonna name names right now because I don't know how that would go over. But there were certain people, vocal people, who were doing stupid shit and associating with stupid people, and they were getting a lot of press.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily that I disagreed with a lot of the shit they said per se. And, I listen to certain people's podcasts on a regular basis, but they were being counterproductive. I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't have said anything about them at the time because the more infighting we had, the worse it got for us. But if you couldn't see that.
I get what you're saying, though. Like, there's like a sense of getting kind of like carried away with it and forgetting
Well,
their
running up-
scruples.
Running up on a stage and throwing a Roman salute was not an intelligent thing to do.
No.
Yeah.
Well, and there was the
Yeah.
obvious plants that had their
That too, yeah.
1940s German
always-
flags and stuff.
There will
out
always
there.
be those, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like the visuals at the
Well, I mean, like, look at what they did with the Libertarian Party. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like the libertarian,
Yeah,
like
the libertarians don't believe in giving fucking heroin to kids. That's all fucking federal government bullshit because they don't want to lose their precious two-party system.
right.
They don't fucking. I don't
Yeah,
want
they
to
turn
give
the
fucking
they turn the
drugs to
Libertarian
kids. No,
Party
I
into
just
a
want to be
joke.
able to own all the guns I want.
That's true, yeah.
However,
Yeah.
the
Fucking
Yeah,
bastard.
it's supposed to be about limited government. That doesn't mean that you don't, you know.
the libertarian ideal,
And being in charge of your own fucking destiny.
but the libertarian ideal is going to draw in a lot of kind of larpers, anyways, right? And it's easy to take advantage of because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you get, you know, junkies
you might
are
have-
gonna be
I'd
like,
say-
oh,
I'd say
yeah, I
modern
could have
conservative-
heroin, so I
like
support
modern-
that, you know.
But you're going to get people like fucking faggot furries. I don't know if I can say that word, but you know,
You can get
furry
away with
types
it a
who go
little
like,
bit.
"Oh, libertarianism, and we should be able to do whatever we want and touch little kids." And whoops, did I say that? Oh yeah, now it's associated,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you do definitely get a lot of like degenerates
Yeah.
and nihilists.
Yeah. And I'm not, once again, I'm not shitting on libertarianism because I'm a bit of that myself, but it's you know, it brings in the unrealistic people.
Yeah.
It's a draw from the same way the left
Yeah.
does. The right actually to a much less extent than they.
Yeah, there has, by nature, there has to be some regulation to an extent.
Well,
You can't have order without a very small amount of regulation.
yeah. And the
You know,
libertarian,
and that's why, you know, it brings in these retards who are like, no
Yeah, yeah.
regulations at all.
yeah, and the
You know,
libertarian
You can't have that.
party movement, whatever, got like really infiltrated, I'd say, because they purposefully kind of brought it down with that, you
Yeah.
know, all the no age of consent crap. That'd be
But
a
once
nice
it-
way of
once
saying
again-
it, or like, you know,
Yeah.
doing
It's
heroin
easy-
to kids, and
It's easy to do. It's
and you
easy
can
to
see
do.
it. Oh yeah, but I was building to something. You can see
Oh,
it
sorry.
because over the past year or two, especially with all the tech censorship, they're the ones now saying, "Oh, it's a private company, so they can do whatever they want."
Oh, they're private businesses. They can do it.
Yeah,
Fuck off. That's why
Dude,
we
you know
need
it's-
some regulation. There needs
Yeah.
to be regulation to tell everybody, hey, doesn't matter who you are, you have to honor the Constitution.
exactly.
you know?
Yeah.
Which, if you ask me, that makes things more libertarian. Because if I'm able to carry a gun into a private business, because, well, guess what? Just because you're a private business doesn't mean you can't ignore the Constitution. I'd say those small regulations give us more freedom than libertarianism would.
Yeah, I got to head out for a second. We'll be right back.
Well,
It's funny.
like
I have
those
a
companies-
libertarian.
Yeah,
Oh.
and those companies have like an inordinate amount of power that you wouldn't have in a truly free market, where there was actual true like competition and everything.
Yeah.
you know. So there's a lot of shit with it, you know. Plus, every single one of them's got like government contracts or CIA funding through shell accounts and all kinds of crap like that, you know. So it's
Yeah.
not, you know, they say it's one way, but it's there's a lot more involved with it, for sure. And that's really not a libertarian position, you know. They say it's a libertarian position, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely been like twisted and perverted.
Ooh, if I get 8 more subscribers, I get a custom YouTube address for my channel. So that's cool.
Oh shit!
Nice.
Yep. And I'm halfway to partner status on DLive, so that's cool. Moving up in the world.
Hell yeah, brother! Get them sheckies.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
But anyway, I was talking to a buddy of mine last night who's a libertarian, and I don't know him and a lot of other libertarians, quote unquote, that I talk to. You know, they're getting real sick of the whole like Twitter's a private company thing, and I think that is like an important thing to hammer on with people like that. You know what I mean? Because it's very
Yeah.
clearly it's not that simple.
Yeah.
It's not just like a private company who should, you know what I mean? It's a utility almost at this point. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much
Absolutely.
good comes from a bunch of libertarians kind of like
Ooh,
moving closer to
speaking
our
of,
side. But
I'm
I
just looking.
definitely see that happening.
Yeah,
Hey, can
speaking
you guys
of.
hear me still?
Yeah. Speaking of, looking
Yeah, I can hear
over
you.
at Zero
Okay.
Hedge, and apparently
Okay.
the Internet Archive, archive.org, will be adding the fact check alerts to
What?
archive sites and stuff like that. It also includes dead web pages that were archived.
Back, by the way.
Adding in fact checks, huh?
Yep, we're adding in
Let's go,
fact
dude.
checks onto the Internet Archive. So,
I love fact checking, but not that kind.
if they're actually fact checks, but they're Snopes,
Yeah.
like Snopes is so like. I mean, even back in like 2014, like we were making fun of Snopes, like oh Snopes debunked it.
I just got suspended off Twitter yesterday because I'm making fun of a fact checker.
Yeah.
I mean, I had that one coming, but
It's really easy to do.
Bro, if they
You
were
called someone
actually
a fact
fact checking,
And you got banned?
is that?
Well, I saw the post. So.
Yeah. I mean,
it was hilarious and it was totally worth it. But yeah,
it was a bannable response. I'll put it that way.
yeah. Had some
But at the
keywords
same
in
time,
there.
was that wrong?
You said some of the gamer words.
No. Here, I'll post the picture
No.
to the Fren Report group chat so you guys can see it. There was I'll post the original, and this popped up. I can't remember what the conversation was anymore, to be honest.
Oh wow! Oh, I don't even know how I missed this earlier because this was posted this morning. I was going to look for because I was talking about the Turkish thing. Well, just below that, so I guess I got distracted by the Turkish thing and I didn't scroll just a little bit more. Oh, damn it. And now my internet wants to take forever. Probably got way too many fucking tabs open. And 2 browsers with too many tabs open, that's a little much.
Got a boomer shirt.
Come on.
Hey, I'm 40, man. I'm right with you.
Well, it's not boomerness. I just... Because I like to leave open tabs from stuff I'm looking at, And, alright, let me see. Scroll down here.
I threw up the 2 screen caps anyways onto the Fren Report chat.
But yeah.
I'm driving right now, so I can't really look at him.
Oh, and it's from PJW, actually. But it's on Zero Hedge. An Israeli minister warns of war in Middle East if Biden wins.
Oh, wow.
Oy vey, right?
Whoa.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Israeli Settlements Minister Zaki Hanegbi. Israeli Settlements Minister. That was a fucking great guy, right?
Yeah, but
moving on from
what was that name? What's that name again?
Oh, calm down. I don't know.
Tiny Sheckelberg.
Zaki Hanegbi, yeah. Shlomo.
Zaki Hanegbi.
Well, he warns that a Biden presidency
Moisha.
warns that a Biden presidency could ignite a war in the Middle East, while Egypt fears Biden would aid the resurgence of Islamists in the region.
No shit.
For Israel, this would represent an existential threat to national security and drastically increase the chances of war with Tehran.
Yep.
Okay, the last thing
If
that
Biden
I really
stays
want...
with that policy, there will, in the end, be a violent confrontation between Israel and Iran. Wasn't that what they want, though?
Well, I think they want a slow burn.
No, they want a
because
violent
slow burn is
confrontation
safe.
between America and Iran, not between Israel and Iran.
Yeah, there we go.
They want to, on their end, they want a slow burn because that's easy for them to make small incremental.
They want to start. They want to start.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to get too religious right now, but if you look at like what it talks about in the Bible and the Battle of Armageddon and the armies of the north, the east, the west, and the south, and all that shit.
Yeah.
You know, and the battle taking place in the Middle East.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's a lot of shit coming together, and it scares the hell out of you if you read into it.
Well, I could go into that someday because that's when we don't have so many politics happening to dominate the conversation, if that ever happens. Yeah. But definitely not happening now. But there's like a big thing about that with Freemasonry and the bringing about the basically using the Revelations template to build their strategies and stuff. So
yeah,
you got to remember it seems to me that the natural human, and this is like not 100% universal, but it's pretty close, is to wish for the big thing. The big thing's going to happen. The big thing's going to happen in my lifetime. This is the big one.
Yeah. They've been selling the end of the world
thing
for over 1,000 years.
I don't want it.
Much longer than that, man.
Yeah.
And
we're
and
in the end time. Well, yeah, actually,
yeah.
Christianity when it first came out, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, think of the cults from 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years ago. They were doing the same thing, right?
Right.
It's a natural kind of, the sky's gonna fall. This is the big one. We're gonna finally find out, and everybody kind of wants to be able to see it.
Yeah.
So it's always going to happen in our lifetime. This is going to happen. The end of the world, the big thing, and it's easy to play off that.
It is.
But most things happen in much smaller steps than that, and that's why you got to be. The mass people don't get it, and they don't know what's going on because they don't follow the small steps.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's 100% the same thing, but we'd be better off reading what the fall of the Roman Empire and Roman history, and looking at the similarities between that and the American Empire than worrying about. And I'm not dismissing that side of it either, but
I mean, like I'm not. If you look at the Bible too, it was written a lot by Jews, so I mean, you never know.
No, but it's a natural thing. I consider
myself a good Christian, and I sometimes feel guilty. Yeah.
Well, a good Christian should
sometimes
feel guilty
trying to discredit the Bible, but No,
but it's not about discrediting it.
Well, and I pray to God that He forgives me if I'm incorrect, but yeah.
No, you gotta understand that.
How much do we know wasn't written, made up?
No, I'm reading. By the way, Jeremy, I'm reading the comments somewhat. I'm also looking around different stuff that we're talking about.
It doesn't matter the veracity of the Bible. We got to remember that it's our interpretation that's going to affect on the ground real world things. Like it diverges from religion, because we got to look at what's really happening, and you're not sinning or being unfaithful by looking at what's going on the ground and saying, okay, I'm going to look at the real world situation. That everything doesn't have to be foretold in the Bible, because it's not going to be, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with that, or that's somehow shameful or anything. I think it's sensible.
Yeah. But there's Like I said, that they use
I'm to be honest, I don't want the big thing to happen yet because there's so much the human race still has to do. Like, will we ever be able? Like, I want to see us, colonize other planets. I want to see us, master
Oh
the
yeah,
stars.
fuck yeah. But that is 100% not going to happen in our lifetime.
That's within our reach.
I know, but we
is it?
No,
it? Like,
well,
I don't know. I'm not gonna.
We
That's
have to
gonna
lay
be
the
too much
groundwork
of a
now.
tangent right now.
It can be done. It can be done.
But we have to lay the groundwork
we
now.
can take the first steps towards putting people on Mars right now.
I'd fucking if I wasn't a father of young children, I'd go to Mars in a fucking heartbeat. Die there, get buried there, be fucking land there and live fucking 4 months and die of space flu or fucking starvation or whatever, just to be just to be that first fucker buried on fucking the red planet. That'd be kind of cool. It wouldn't matter to me because I'd be dead, but at the same time,
yeah.
I'm not saying it's possible or not possible.
We're not nearly as far advanced in that as they lead you to believe.
No, but sometimes
or
it's
at least there's enough evidence counter to it that there's a strong reason to doubt a lot of those things.
Well, here's my explanation. In the 1960s, when we put a man on the moon, after that, after the last Apollo mission, everyone was just like, okay, what's next? And then everyone just, stopped giving money to NASA.
After the black women wrote the code that put us on the moon, that we still can't do.
It's a matter of money.
Well, it's a matter of will, right?
Happen. They made that shit up.
I know they made that shit up. They made up a whole lot of shit. Why?
Well, I'm saying
there's way more to it than that too.
I mean, it's not a matter of.
There's a reason I was throwing that in there, but there's way more to it in there that I'm not gonna go into the whole NASA fucking bullshit right now. But
we should have a discussion just on that sometime. That'd be fun.
Well, you'd be a fool to take it at face value. I'll put it that way.
Well, but
there's a lot of different takes on it.
That's why I'm not. I'm saying
I'm not necessarily attached to one of them, but
one quick comment: if it is possible to go to the moon or go to anywhere, if it is possible to go to the moon or go anywhere else, you don't think that a bunch of white guys, rocket pilots and crazy motherfuckers in the 1960s that was the group that could have done it? I think if it could have been done, they're the guys who did it. I'll put it that way, and then I'll stop talking about it myself.
There's just so much else involved in it.
You do have to look at the fact that black people back in the 60s weren't. You also do have to look at the fact that black people in the 60s, they weren't the same black Americans we see today, where they're disruptive and causing all kinds of shit. They seemed from everything. Now, granted, that could be a factor of the media spinning.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. Because
seem like normal people.
Look up 60s race riots. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. No, but there's.
Yeah, true.
You
got to admit, shit was bad for him back then. It's not bad for him now. They're complaining about nothing today, but back then they did have some things to complain about. Rioting still isn't the answer, but I mean, come on.
Until they moved into your cities,
segregation isn't,
segregation. I think was a good idea.
Does it? Well, because why do they want it again now?
They're left to their own.
Now they were better off then, and we were better off. You know what I mean?
They were sink or swim on your own.
They were better off. We were better off. Why do you think? There's all the black separatist movements and everything these days.
Didn't you hear they had Black Wall Street? And if it wasn't,
dude.
If it
wasn't for that massacre,
in Oklahoma,
massacre in Tulsa.
If it was evil Whitey had to take them down,
If it wasn't for the whites flying by and bombing them from an airplane, they would have. I mean, they would have built the Twin Towers.
Bro, I'm gonna spurg out for just a second here. That Tulsa shit, man, they're pushing that so fucking hard in so many different avenues of media. I recently watched all of Lovecraft Country with my younger brother.
God, I've got a couple of.
Yeah, it's bad.
I just wanted to smash my fucking TV.
What happened in Tulsa?
Dude, you have to see episode 6.
What happened in Tulsa?
You're gonna piss yourself.
Well,
the one with the gay
Tulsa,
shit?
there was like,
Where
they
was
tried
that
to
and it's the
from?
one with the Negro futurism. It's fucking hilarious. It's amazing.
dude, I had a
It's
family.
like
Okay, I think
I-
it was
Sorry, go ahead.
5 that I was thinking about that I was just like.
No,
was like
what's the
10
what,
minutes
what's the
very
whole,
in,
gay,
the whole
yeah.
tweet? The U.S.
God
government
damn.
bombed black people.
No,
real quick.
You not
That
know.
that's retarded. That's literally
No.
retarded.
No. They tried to prosecute
No.
a jogger American for assaulting a white girl, and then the black showed up, and there was a
His name was Diamond Dick.
yeah. There was a shootout, and then it turned into a race war, and the blacks lost because the whites are just better at that. I mean,
Well, yeah, and it's also very notable that it was started by the blacks. They thought that their boy was going to get lynched, so they showed up
They
to the
opened fire.
courthouse with guns, and they killed like 10 white guys right off the bat, and that's why it turned into a big to-do. It was
Well,
originally
and-
called the Negro Uprising.
yeah.
The way the way they portray the white guys and that shit is like, are you?
I
It's
did-
so fucking, dude. It boils my blood. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a family member tell me that they learned about that from watching The Watchmen. I guess there's a TV show called that or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
And,
Yep. That one too.
We talked for a couple of minutes. It was like, you really just have no idea about anything that's happened in history. She's like, what did, it's white supremacy. That's why I've never read about this or heard about this before, and blah blah blah. I'm like, have you never picked up a fucking
Yeah.
book? Like, I
Like,
read
Man,
my
about-
the Coppola is so
granddad
strong.
was. My granddad was like around. I mean, my parents were around during that time. You know what I mean?
what was funny was,
But
um,
my mom was a little young. 1963, but she had to go to the schools when they first started busing them in and shit. I think my dad was more of a teenager.
well, my family member is a
Yeah.
lefty, like hard lefty, and took lefty courses in
I,
university and all this shit.
I don't think they actually
And-
had any black people where my dad grew up, so
No, but she-
it was
She
kind
was
of a
Well, no. See, here's the thing.
theoretical
Like,
idea there.
I think the reason black people act the way they do is because fucking
Black
what is
people?
it? When did you know that old black and white? No, the black and white fucking video, and it's that dude reading the Communist Manifesto, telling us about how this is shit we need to take seriously, because this is a warning about shit that's going to happen in America. Like he's reading it, telling us we need to beware of communists. And fucking one of the things they talk about is the reason black people today are so like uppity.
Was it
and
some of the
acting way
early
they do is
G. Edward
because- not
Griffin
because they're
stuff?
black, but because they've been lied to by the Marxists and the Jews lied to them. I don't want to hate
absolutely.
black Americans, and I don't buy the fact that they're all like this. I feel like they've been lied to, they've been poisoned, they've been fucking treated like shit by the Democrats and the communists, and that's why they are the way that they are. This can end.
No, so if
as
it
long
wasn't
as,
for
we can help them hopefully someday see the error of, we're not an error of their way.
I
This isn't
understand
their
what you're
fault.
saying,
It's the fucking
but
communists and the Jews.
I understand what you're saying.
It's
that,
not even their
but
fault.
I understand what you're saying, but
Yeah.
then explain Africa.
No. It's not that they are like us, but they're
I'd say the
I'm
communists.
I'm not
and the
saying they're
Jews,
not
yeah.
used as
Otherwise-
tools. Of
No, yeah,
obviously
yeah,
they are.
the activized expression of their being Africans is absolutely guided by and informed by communists, Marxists, right? Like it's. I always love that. Speaking of,
Yeah.
I don't know, was Marty Robbins from Texas? Because he did a lot of Texas stuff. But
Marty
that
Robbins?
song, Marty Robbins,
Yeah.
his song "Ain't I
maybe.
Right?" Ain't I Right? They never released it on his label properly because it was an
Big Dick Marty
anti-communist.
cucks all of Texas, yeah.
But if you guys know that song "Ain't I Right," he wrote it
Yeah.
during all that civil rights shit.
Yeah.
And there's this like, you came down to our southern town last summer. Like he saw it. Now he didn't name them.
Yeah.
He didn't name them, but the point was that everybody was kind of getting along and doing their thing, and there was problems, but what do? They come down and activate.
Well, yeah, they stir them
Activated
up.
the Negro,
I mean, that's
right?
what happened this year too, because like everything
Oh,
was
absolutely.
great.
They never.
Yeah.
Well, Obama started. It started when Obama got elected, because then they got all blah, you know.
Trayvon Martin would have just looked. My son would have just looked like Trayvon Martin. Like, come on,
Yeah.
give me a fucking break.
Ugh.
Fucking Michael Obama had impregnated him. His son wouldn't have looked anything like that.
And that's beside the
Thank
point.
you. I'm here all week.
Yeah.
But yeah, they definitely stirred that shit up, because they're not that hard to stir up.
No, well, this is it.
Which
They got
is-
fucking low self-control, right?
Yeah, but look how they treat each
Listen,
other.
all I want.
But I'm saying,
all I
hold on, let
want
me
is
make
to
this
grill-
point, because you made your point, so let me make my counterpoint here. Because I'm saying,
I know.
you've seen the videos of
Yeah,
how they
yeah.
treat each other in
Go ahead.
Africa.
Go ahead.
Well, there
Texas
ain't
is talking
nobody
now,
else
man.
getting in their way the way they treat each
Yeah.
other.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe
nobody-
they have good reasons, but they go overboard.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what I mean?
No, okay. They're sensible black people, but we got to look at
Yeah.
the entire group of them.
Yeah.
It's statistics, man. It's like you've got
You always
40%
got outliers. We're
population.
not talking about the
No.
outliers. When
Yeah,
you're
but-
talking about a group of people, you have to talk about the way they
The
are
entire
in
group
the
of people.
aggregate. Yeah, the way
Yeah,
they
yeah,
are
yeah.
in the aggregate.
exactly. Like, I've known plenty of really shitty European people with pure European blood, and they're just absolute fucking trash. But that doesn't mean that I view our people as, oh, you know what, we're really shitty people. We also did such amazing fucking things, and it was only possible. The real outliers, the good outliers of European people are only possible because the majority of people were just kind of okay.
Hey,
Right?
Sporma.
And so if you get a population, we'll just theoretically say, I don't know, they're from Wakanda, and you've got 1% who are decent, like really, up people, and they're 140 IQ, whatever, and then you've got only 10% who are average, and then you've got 79% who are, or 89% who are shit. You're fucked. You're not getting anywhere. And that 10% and that 1% are dragged down with them. But that can't be fixed unless you kind of isolate them and let them sort it out themselves genetically.
Well,
right.
What I'm saying, so look at.
Well, here's the thing.
Look
My
at
dad,
an
when my dad was
African
in the
country
Navy.
where there's like almost no
damn it.
white people. They're not in good shape, Even the ones that were in America, so they made Liberia. Liberia is like one of the worst fucking countries in the world, and then not our fault, that's for sure. If you look at, you have to go back a little bit before they started flooding them, but before they started flooding in, like Sweden had virtually no crime. Germany was incredibly safe. Here in Bulgaria, where it's still 93% white, there aren't parts of cities that you don't go to. You know what I mean? Like there are in America. You can walk, you feel just fine walking anywhere all through. Even if it was a poor part of town, okay, the houses aren't as nice, but everybody looks like you, and nobody's like, what you doing here, white boy?
Yeah.
And it's safe, like we don't lock our doors. We don't have to, because nobody's gonna break in. You know what I mean? We don't lock our doors because somebody might need to get in.
Yeah.
Hey, that brings me back. I just had to go check on my kids. My childhood was in a small town, 2,300 people, and this is kind of ironic. A black family moved to town, and there was a single mother and two boys, and one of the boys stole my fucking bike. Before that, we never had our bike stolen.
Right.
Now, the other side of that was the older brother. The older brother, he wasn't very smart, but he was more of a law-abiding citizen, and he used to give his younger brother shit all the time.
Yeah.
For making black people look bad. Sorry, I just stepped back and I had to step out there for a second, so I don't know what the conversation actually was, but we're just throwing that out there. I never had my bike stolen until a black guy stole my bike. There you go. That's life.
Yeah, and that's the way it was. Like in the 80s.
It's kind of dumb to be the only black family in the neighborhood and then steal someone's bike because everyone's gonna know who stole the fucking bike.
Exactly. That's why his brother got so mad at him all the time. He's like, "You're making us
come look over here." Like, I wonder who. Yeah, I wonder who did this.
I heard an argument between them at school, and yeah, the guy was like, "We're the only black people here. What are you doing? Like, why would you do this?" They were literally there was
you idiot.
There were four Chinese kids at my school and 2 black kids. Everything else was white. Everybody else was white.
Yeah.
And it was weird how safe that place was.
Are you sure that the older brother was kind of stupid? Because he seems like he knew his shit.
No, I'm not saying he was stupid, but he wasn't like a high IQ guy. He wasn't a scholar by any means, but he had enough sense.
But he's always had some practical sense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can be 90, 95 IQ.
Are any of us scholars?
Well, I got a high school education. That's pretty good.
I had a woman in high school tell me I had an IQ of 110.
Oh shit.
Well, I had a woman in high school tell me I had an IQ of 110, and now being 23, I know that's a fucking lie.
no, but you.
I mean, that's only slightly above average.
I don't even remember my fucking times tables, dude.
No, that's memory.
Because that's memorization. That has nothing to do with IQ.
This is one of the reasons that the Orientals do so well is they memorize really well.
Yeah, they're very good at they're very good at memorization, but they're not good at critical thinking and creative thinking and out of the box thinking. They're like they're terrible at out of the box thinking. That's why they have to steal all of our intellectual property because they can't come up with their own.
Yeah.
I was tested as a kid and was at 145 IQ, and I was taken out of regular school and put into special programs and stuff, and I'm a fucking mechanic, man. Now, I had a period of time in the 90s up until I was about 20 where I was doing a lot of bad things to my brain, but I mean, I'm no dumber now than I was when I was 16, I can tell you that. IQ isn't 100% correlation to outcome.
Yeah.
And that's what we gotta keep that in mind too, right? And actually, sometimes having a higher IQ causes you all kinds of fucking problems because you don't fit in.
It does, and nobody understands what you're trying to tell them.
No, I can't be friends with people at work because I can't have conversations with them.
See, I got good at pretending because
Bro, I know that feel.
I don't know, when I was tested when I was a kid, they said 154 or something like that.
Yeah. Oh,
and
that's it, Jesus.
Yeah.
A big brain cast.
Yeah. And but I've worked all kind of. I always get really good at whatever I want to do,
But
then I get bored with it, so I do something else. But
yeah. the number one key to IQ is pattern recognition.
Yep. But I got good, and actually, once you figure out how to learn stuff, then then you pick up stuff pretty easy. But I got good at faking, trying to dumb it down for them. So
I've never been good at that.
It took a lot of practice, but I got good at it.
But I a couple of years ago, I taught myself how to build and modify tube amps, guitar amps. I play guitar.
Yeah.
And I had a friend of mine who's an electrical engineer saying, you don't know what you're talking about. And I grabbed a piece of paper and a pen and I drew him out a schematic for a preamp. And I said, we can change this, element here and this element here, and this does this and this does that. I mean, why do I need a degree to do this?
Right.
Right? Like it's the ability of having that.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. The fucking the whole college thing.
Oh yeah. Well, once again, the further college gets away from STEM, the more shitheads and idiots you're gonna get in there, right?
I just went to DeVry for software development.
Yeah, exactly.
So it just taught me what I needed to know.
What's that mean about the DeVry Institute?
Well,
what is that?
It's bold. Well,
I studied at DeVry's. That's awesome. There's something there. I can't remember what it is, but there's something there. Anyways, sorry.
But yeah, it was very focused on telling you just what you need to know and not
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
like I
filling
was
your
about
head
to
with this
say,
communist bullshit. You know?
college is.
Go on. College is.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's like college is a fucking scam because, like you were just saying, like you don't need a fucking degree. You can train someone and teach them how to do literally just about anything. You don't need a fucking college degree to fly a fighter jet. Are you kidding me? You can get someone who knows how to fly a Cessna 150 and put them in a centrifuge and just explain to them what it is they need to do in this aircraft, and you can teach them without a degree how to fly a fucking F-18. I know you can. They did it in fucking Korea.
Yeah, no,
they
absolutely.
did it in fucking Vietnam, and you're now telling me I need a degree to fly a fucking fighter jet?
But here's the difference. Here's the difference, though. At one point,
or I need a degree to fucking.
Well, at one point, you probably knew more coming out of 8th grade than you learn with a fucking bachelor's degree these days, you know?
But there was a difference in 1950, 1960. Your college degree meant you weren't weeded out, right? That means you were able to. And now, I mean, all the math and things that you'd learn in high school and college would be, very important to flying a fighter jet. But nowadays, you have a college degree. It doesn't mean you were weeded out. It means you were fucking whoever. You could be dumb as goddamn bricks. And
it's a participation trophy.
Exactly.
It's all about regulation.
They used to grade on a curve. So there'd be like 3 A's in the class. So there'd be like 3 A's in the class, and then like a certain amount of B's, certain amount of C's, and like. So it was all about your placement in the class, you know.
Remember the joke about the basket weaving? You went to college and got a degree in basket weaving?
I think there might be a little bit of lag in the chat.
Oh, is there?
What do you mean?
I think there might be a little bit of lag in the chat because every time I talk, it doesn't say I'm talking until like 3 seconds later.
No, I don't know what the timing is. We have a habit of talking over each other, so there's that too.
I'm gonna leave the call and I'm gonna rejoin.
Yeah, it might be your connection.
I'm gonna leave and rejoin really quick.
All right.
But like used to be, you went to college, you got a real degree in something, right?
Yeah.
Now it's you have a college degree, it could be in fucking anything. And I told this anecdote to a friend last week. I went on a date with a gal who was a social worker, had multiple degrees, and didn't know anything. Like, we were having a conversation. She was talking about how, crazy times. This was over a year ago. Crazy the times we live in. I was like, oh, yeah, have you ever read a history book? Right? And I started, like, naming off a couple of important books that maybe she should have read. Like, a big one was Plutarch's Lives, if you've read that. He compares famous Romans and Greeks, and you get a really good breakdown of the politics of the era. And she had no idea what the fuck I was talking about. And there's somebody who's gone to university for, gone to university for 4 years, and never read classical literature of any fucking type, right?
Yeah.
How can you walk around? I'm a Bachelor of Arts of this, or I've got a degree in this, and not have any fucking knowledge of.
Well, they completely got, like, I was in school when they were starting to get rid of critical thinking, like all through the 80s. We had critical thinking questions, like in our books and on our tests and shit, where they'd, like, give you, like, a word problem or something and ask you questions about it, and you had to figure out how to derive the information from that and all that. They got rid of that. I can remember them talking about they're getting rid of that, and I'm like, but that's how you understand what's going on. And because they don't want you to understand what's going on. They want you just smart enough to fucking do what you're fucking told.
Work the till at McDonald's, man, and they don't even count change.
Well, they need to know that you're gonna parrot back the proper points and narratives. You know what I mean? Yeah. That you're not gonna.
Yeah. Well, now they feed your head full of communist bullshit.
Right.
And don't teach you how to think. They teach you how to not question and to do what you're fucking told and to think what they tell you to think. And they do the whole thing like, we're gonna tell you since you're this crazy educated college person now, you'll know better than the other people, you know.
I got two kids, one's 7 and one's 10, and they're not being taught basic math in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to teach them at home. I have to teach them at home myself. Like long division, multiplication, all this stuff. They're just not being taught. They're not even being taught how to write properly.
Yeah, they don't know they don't teach them long division. My niece, like, she's like 22 now or something, and she doesn't know how to do long division. I'm like, dude, they wouldn't let me out of 3rd grade if I didn't know how to do long division.
Yep.
You know.
And this doesn't matter. This doesn't matter so much for someone like me I did all this shit on my own. Like, I knew this stuff before they taught it in the school. Like grade 5 was, grade 4 was a joke.
Yeah.
But for the next generation, where we got to remember that 95% of them aren't going to be that smart. And now with, the beauty of diversity, we're going to have an even larger proportion of them who are fucking dumb as bricks.
Yeah.
It's gone from like 10% are retards to 20% to 30% to 40% are fucking like mentally retarded.
Well, it's very deliberate. There, have you ever heard of Charlotte Isabret? Is her by it? Her dad was in the Skull and Bones, and she was under Reagan, I think. She was head of the Department of Education, I think, something like that, or high up in the Department of Education. And she was like always trying to like, oh, this would work better, blah blah blah, and they'd always like pick the worst policies, and she's like, what the fuck's going on? Then her dad died.
Work?
Yeah, but then her dad died, and she started going. They were like, going cleaning out his office and stuff, and she found they used to print out a little book every year of all the living members of the Skull and Bone Society.
Oh shit!
So they found that. She found that, and they started going through that, and like every single name on there, that was always whoever blocked the passage of things that would actually help, and instead implemented the shit that would make people stupid, was always somebody in that book.
You got to remember, like, when we think about ruling a ruling class, we think about it from the masses side, right? We think about it from a benevolent dictator. We go, who's gonna, help this society reach the stars or whatever it's gonna be, or be, be right. And we got to remember that if you're born into the ruling class, you're thinking, how can I control these fucking Muppets?
Well, it's a lot easier to do it if they don't know you're doing it.
Yeah,
that's why there's all these secret societies these days.
If they can't do it, but you get us to the point, you get the masses to the point where they not only do they not know you're ruling them, that they can't do anything themselves. It's really easy to fucking.
They don't even have the ability to figure out what's going. They can't even conceive of what's really happening exactly.
Like, why was somebody like Henry Ford such a danger? Because he didn't come from their group, and he was building a little empire.
Yeah.
A self-sufficient empire that wasn't part of their control.
He had some things to say about a certain specific tribe too, let me tell you.
And he was like fucking he was King Autist, man. Like, he was autistic to the nth degree. He was building little Ford villages and cities, and you couldn't just work on the Ford rubber plantation. You had to be a Ford person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ford houses and Ford streets and Ford education, and like, he was in an
and he's a good example of a high IQ, because he didn't come up with like anything new. He figured out how to do it more productively, like in a different way. It was like, instead of like having people that build cars, you put together the assembly line, was his big thing that he came up with.
Well, and also,
you can spit them out so much faster because you just have one guy that just does this. I don't
have the quote.
Of course, that's starting to lead into the automation. That was the beginning of the steps into automation that we're having now. But
however, if you look at, I don't have the exact quote on hand, but he was saying things along the lines of, we're going to build cars that my workers can afford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and in a way, he was going, you know, and people, oh, this is elitist, this is whatever, but he was smarter than them. And he goes, I'm going to make you a guy who all you can do is turn a fucking screw. That's your lot in life, is turning a screw. I'm going to make sure you turn the right screw, the right fucking torque, and you're going to be able to own a car.
Yeah. And you're going to
Yeah.
know how to turn that particular screw like a fucking champ.
And all you got
And
to do...
goddamn did he know how to just turn that screw.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking right. Fucking right.
And the
this is
cars
why-
they made, dude, there's still some of them floating around 100 years later and shit, you know?
Oh, for yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I have a 1958 Chevy that I've just taken off the road.
Hell yeah.
I bought that for $4,500 fucking dollars. I put a big block olds in it, mind you, so I kind of messed with it. But I drove that for 3 years, all year round, Canadian winters and all.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
I took it off the road because I put too big of an engine in it. It was tearing apart the chassis.
Yeah, that'll do that.
Well, I ripped off the left-hand lower control arm in the rear 3 times. Had to weld it back on. Too much torque. And my other car is a 1960 Pontiac. A 1960 fucking Pontiac, dude, that I was driving. I've got a van. I've got a van for the winter now, but I was driving that as my daily driver. Think about that. In 60 years, what fucking car do they build now is still going to be functional?
Well, they don't. I actually knew a guy who was
Exactly.
he worked for I forget who he worked for, but he was they built spark plugs, and it was his job to make sure, because they could build a spark plug that lasts forever. Actually,
Yeah.
it was his job to make sure it ran out after 50,000 miles.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh,
Yeah.
with the new metallurgy, with the new coatings that they can put on these platinum and all this shit, and it's like this tiny insignificant coating of platinum. It doesn't.
Yeah, it's
you go platinum. Oh, that's expensive, right? Yeah, but it's so
but it's like platinum plated,
tiny.
where it's
Oh
like,
yeah, the tiniest little bit, and that spark plug will last for 300,000. Oh, whatever. You guys are miles. 160,000, 200,000 miles.
Yeah.
It won't burn out. Where my old
especially when they got the ones with like the 3 prongs that spark.
Oh yeah, well
of the little hook.
that's less important than it sounds, but the ones with the tiny little electrodes, they last forever. Whereas like my spark plugs on my old cars, you got to pull them out, and I kind of lament the change because this is my livelihood. I'm a mechanic. I could still be doing this for a career, but you pull the spark plugs out, you file them, you gap them, you put them back in, but you're doing that every 5,000 miles.
Yeah.
And now you don't have to touch the damn spark plug for, almost 200,000 miles. That's huge. That's huge. And I'll be right back.
Well, at the same...
I've been pounding back the beers like you would not believe, so I got to use the can. I'll be right back.
All
right. So, I think having shit that breaks a little more frequently, not like frequently enough to where it's a pain in the ass, but enough to where like yourself, like how on more modern cars, like if you break the seal on your transmission, you void the warranty. If you replace your own transmission fluid, you void the warranty. If you replace your own oil, you void the fucking warranty. I think shit that breaks a little more frequently, is good for developing skills to fix your own shit and becoming more self-reliant.
Well, it's like he was saying, like, used to you had to do a lot more maintenance to it, but they last forever as long as you keep up on the maintenance. Things are more disposable these days because, look, if you're building a car from 1960 that you're still driving 60 years later, they're not selling a whole lot of cars if people can drive the same car for 60 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, there was a kind of a limit to, like, production while the baby boomers were coming up. So, like, a 1960 would be a perfect example, you know what I mean? Like, they could still build them to last, but it's, throughout the 70s and especially into the 80s where the baby boomers are up here, and especially because, like, in the 80s, so you had the baby boomers and the Gen X that was coming up. There's a lot less of them. So that, like, you can't sell these boomers cars that are going to last for 60 years because They're going to buy
Yeah.
one car and never have to buy one again. And these Gen
Yeah.
X can buy that car from them when they're.
I've known
and-
I've known some boomers though who, regardless how long the car lasts, they trade them in every year because they want the newest car,
Yeah.
and they get every single friggin' upgrade you can possibly get on it.
Yeah,
There's a-
because that's
Yeah.
well, that's part of that was a big thing with the boomers too. That like, because like their parents, the greatest generation or whatever, they mostly grew up during the Great Depression, so they expected it to last for 60 years if they were shelling out their bucks for it and shit like that.
Yeah.
Well, I think if if like everyone talks about like, oh, we have too many cars on the road. Well, you know what? If we went back to the old school ways of manufacturing shit like we did back in the 60s and 70s, like I think if you want to help fix, help fix the emissions problem, how about building cars that last longer? Yeah. Make them last longer so you don't have to buy as many new cars.
Exactly.
Make it again to where an automobile is now a sense of pride, and I guess it still is to it in a way, but it's like, like if you take a 1970 Dodge Challenger, yeah, you're probably going to have to replace the wiring on it.
You're going to have to replace more than that.
Yeah.
That car's going to rot and fall in half.
But hey, no, I know, but I'm going to tell you something.
And you're not going to have Bluetooth in it and fucking navigation.
No, fuck Bluetooth, fuck Bluetooth, fuck Bluetooth. Hey, fuck Bluetooth.
Well, that illustrates what we were talking about, though.
But how long you still see original Dodge Challengers out on the road sometimes?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. How long are we gonna see these new Dodge Challengers out there? As much as people like to talk shit on Dodge, even the shittiest Dodge you can see from like 20, 30, 40 years ago is still going to be out on the road compared to the shit they're putting out now.
20, 30 years ago, they were still crap. 40 years ago, you're starting to...
These Dodge Challengers are going to survive because people are going to keep them and repair them, and they're...
Yeah, true.
I'm not a big Dodge guy either, but man, they hit the nail with that. They hit the nail right on the head with that car.
I'm not afraid to admit Dodge has always had a shit ton of problems with their manufacturing. I don't know what it is. I love the body style of the original Challenger so much that I'm able to look past that shit. My stepdad had a 74 Challenger.
Hop in the generally.
That was a Charger, but I like the Challenger.
That was a Charger, yeah.
If I was gonna buy a new car, if I had the cash to buy a brand new car, it would be a Challenger. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Same here. I still, I'm really torn on whether or not I want an old school Ford pickup with a diesel, or not an old school Ford, but like an older, like early 2000s Chevy with a Duramax, or it's like a 2014, 2015 Challenger, something that's still used, but it's not going to be as expensive as a brand new one. That's still in good shape though. I'm not going to get a piece of shit, but yeah, I'm torn. I'm torn about what I want because I know those older Chevys. Not like old, like even the early 2000s. My stepdad had one. He put 200,000 miles on it, and it didn't give him any shit. It didn't give him any shit. He had an old school Silverado.
Yeah,
they had some decent trucks, but they're honestly, I mean, there's old stuff that rotted out, and there's old cars from the 50s and 60s and 70s that they're in the junkyards. They were recycled by now, and a lot of that stuff has only been saved because people liked it. To be honest.
Yeah.
But there's some vehicles we can go, okay, well, a 2003 Chevy, whatever pickup truck is going to be, an S1500, whatever they call them. The metal might last. The
Chevy.
The LS engines are actually a good design. I don't like them. I don't want to work on them. I don't want to deal with it as far as my personal side.
Well, you don't have to work on them much. No. Is the good part about the GM vehicles.
You do more than
not like you do with Dodge, but
no. Well, but it's when I was in the aftermarket, I work at a dealership now. I shouldn't even say that much, but I work at a dealership now. In the aftermarket, like I worked on all the pickup trucks. I worked on the Dodgers and the Fords and the Chevys, and they all have their own problems. Every vehicle has a problem.
Yeah.
Right? Like the Ford engines that came with these retarded spark plugs that you couldn't take them out, they'd break.
Yeah. Yeah, they get caught in there and you gotta fucking hell getting them fucking out.
Yeah, because there's like two inches of insulator going jammed into an aluminum cylinder head. You couldn't get the fucking thing out.
Yeah. An
like,
aluminum cylinder. I don't, yeah.
within the first year and a half, 2 years, they had a tool to extract broken spark plugs. Like
Yep.
at the time it was a brand new engine,
Yep.
right? And I put on so many Chevy wheel bearings, U joints. I mean, shit breaks down. It happens,
Yep.
especially if it's a work truck and you're putting on 200,000. Once again, I'm using kilometers, but you put 200,000 K in a couple of years, like you're gonna beat the hell out of it.
100,000 miles,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's better and there's worse, and once again, the more you get into the electronics, the problem is the more expensive it gets.
I'm gonna tell you one vehicle that lasts forever is the fucking Crown Vic. I drive an old police Interceptor.
Great cars. Great cars.
Nice.
Dude, the fucking rear transmission seal fucking blew out on it. I had no idea, and it started getting sluggish. I went about like 10,000 miles without any transmission fluid, and the transmission was completely fucking fine.
Yeah.
After I took it in, because I got my Trump bucks, I took it in, got the transmission flushed out. They put a new seal in there, put new fluid, and they said it was perfectly fine when they took it apart.
Yeah. Well, I had I don't know how much you guys know about cars, but I had in my 58 Chevy, I had a TH350 transmission, 3-speed automatic GM transmission they used since the 60s.
Yep.
Nice.
Now I bought the transmission for $75 or whatever, put it in the car, big block olds, 425 out of a 66 Tornado, so it's high compression engine.
Yep.
380
Tornadoes
horsepower.
were fucking badass.
Nice.
Oh yeah, this was the top of the line engine of the year, and I spent I think $3,500 rebuilding it, blah blah blah. Oh, it was a beast. Anyways, I cracked the bell housing on the transmission because I had a vibration from it wasn't from the torque of the engine, it was actually from a vibration from the drive shaft. Swap out the transmission with another $75 transmission, and the internals went in it. I took that transmission out. Now, I am a mechanic, so I have a certain advantage here. But I pulled the guts out of it, took the guts out of the old transmission, swapped it over, built it, put it all back together, put a couple of new gaskets in, and I was still running that transmission, no problems.
Yep.
Right?
Huh.
Like there's certain things that are built right, and you can take them apart, swap a couple of pieces out. Oh, this broke, or this is worn out. No fucking problem, man.
Well,
And
they
then
used to make everything out of steel back then too.
Mhm.
That's one reason why it lasts
Like-
forever. Well, maybe not
There's-
in Canada because you got snow and salt. And,
Yeah, but there's transmissions that have come out in the past 20 years, but they don't even have a dipstick. You can't check the fluid.
Yep.
If
Yeah.
anything goes wrong in that transmission, you replace the entire transmission.
Well, there's supposed to be a little
Yeah.
light that comes on when your transmission.
That's the nice
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
about the Crown Vic is even up until like 2011, which is mine. Mine's a 2011, which is the last year of production they had. It comes with a transmission dipstick.
Yep,
So, and everything you could and it's not just even the normal like LE like LX models and all that. They all were self-serviceable, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
important for a fleet vehicle too. But it's fantastic because like
But
anything on that car, I can just do myself.
That was like I think it's the AOD transmission, whatever. It's an overdrive transmission. I mean, Ford
Yeah.
wasn't.
It's
Ford
a
wasn't-
4.6 liter engine, so
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
a lot of power out of that engine. Only like 250 horse, 230 out on torque in the wheels. But that transmission makes up
Dude.
for a lot. That's why you can step on the gas and that fucker hauls it.
People have no idea what, like, they read about horsepower numbers and they have no idea what it really means, dude.
Yeah.
230 horsepower at the wheels is huge, and people don't have. It's not 500 horsepower. It's like, you have no idea. You've never driven a 500 horsepower rear wheel fucking power car, dude. You'd kill yourself. Like, once again, the old 60s numbers, they kind of dismiss them because they're like, oh, well, that was with, unrestricted exhaust and unrestricted air cleaner and no accessories. Well, the engine I put in my 58 Chevy, I didn't have power steering, no power brakes, I had an alternator and a water pump attached to it. So the numbers that they put out in the 1960s were actually pretty close to what I'm getting when I have it in my car, right?
Yeah.
And we're talking almost 500 foot-pounds of torque coming out the back of that engine, and then it goes through a transmission, and say your first gear is 2.5 to 1. Well, you've taken that 500 foot-pounds of torque and you've multiplied it into 1,250 foot-pounds.
Yeah.
And then you run through a rear differential, which in my case, I put a 411 in it. So now it's 4.11 times. And you end up with this monstrous, 230 horsepower at the wheels is way more than people think it is.
Put it in the
Sorry.
first gear, it's already
Gear
going
head
like
shit.
30 miles an hour.
Dude, I had a Crown Vic blow my doors off in that 58 Chevy. Blow my
Damn,
fucking
dude.
doors off.
Yeah.
It was an ex-cop car. They pulled up beside me at a light. There's two hillbilly-looking types. They're like, "Hey, man, what do you got into that?" And blah, blah, blah. We talked to them. They go, "We're just going on a test and tune." And fuck, I could not keep up with them.
Yeah.
Those cars are based, man. Based and fucking...
Yeah, that's why they
just
still
go.
fucking use them, dude.
Worked for a guy...
You say, "Oh, you're a poser. You're a poser." Like, dude, no. I just like.
No, fuck that,
I didn't
dude.
have the money. I didn't have the money to pay. I had the money to buy a Mustang.
Dude.
You know, because I sold my Jeep Commander, wanted to get a Mustang, couldn't afford the insurance. So what did I get? I got a Crown Vic because I knew that car could probably still keep up. That 4.6 liter is nothing to fuck sneeze at.
No. And
What's up, Animal? Good to see you. Not so showed up for
yeah, we're getting into...
at some
we're
point in this
getting into-
conversation when we were talking about cars.
we got into gearhead conversation here.
Yep. Which is funny. I didn't get into cars until I spent a lot of time in my 20s on the road, so I had to start learning about cars, fixing them and everything. And, just because shit breaks down, you got to figure out how to fix it because...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking Mercury Marauder.
Yeah.
You know, it's the Grand Marquis Marauder.
Yeah.
Which is like fucking. They got that high output Ford 5-liter engine in them,
Yeah.
and it's just fucking ridiculous. I kind of want to pull the engine out of a Marauder and put it into my car.
If you can get your hands on one,
That
get one.
transmission.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's gonna be fucking badass.
But
It's just the only thing about the Crown Vic is the interior is shitty.
Oh,
You know,
yeah?
it's made out of, they use shitty materials.
Yeah.
You know, like the dashboard.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
dashboard's all plastic.
all
It's just
plastic
shit.
and shit, yeah.
Get the Lincoln Town car is still going to be somewhat plastic, but if you can get a Lincoln Town car interior, boy, those were plush back in the 90s, dude.
I think you can actually swap out the interior of the two cars. I think.
Yeah, they're pretty close. You might there might be things like door panels and things that don't line up, but
Yeah, the seats
Dude,
at least. Yeah, the seats
in-
at least should be able to.
okay, remember the 80s rear wheel drive Dodge cars, like the 300 and the New Yorker. They were
Yeah.
dogs. They were kind of shitty build, but man, their interiors were like sitting on the most comfortable couch you could ever imagine. Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, back in the 90s, you could still do this, but I lived outside of town, and I used to have to hitchhike in on Friday nights. So like 13, 14 years old, and I'd be hitchhiking into town. No worries. And I got picked up by these guys in I think it was a Chrysler New Yorker. Actually, no, sorry, it might have actually been a Caprice. Either way, it was a full-size 80s car. And these guys had a 2.4 in the back seat and had open beers. They were getting fucking hammered, dude. And like, where are you going? I'm like, oh, I'm going downtown. Oh yeah, we'll get you there, no problem, blah, blah, blah. And so we're driving along, I'm like 14 years old. I'm like, these guys are fucking shit-faced. They got a full 2.4 open in the back seat. So I start stuffing my pockets with their beer.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to be the guy at the party,
'Cause you
right?
can, yeah.
Yeah, so I snag,
Yeah.
I snag 6 beer. And they drop me off. They're like, okay, we're going to leave you off here outside of the main section of town. You're going to have to walk, but just because we're getting shit-faced, we don't want to get pulled over.
And it was probably like Molson Canadian or Labatt's.
Oh, yeah, I think it was Canadian. Anyways, I'm trying to get out without jingling, right? Because I'm like, I don't want to get that beer bottle jingle sound. And as I'm getting out, and I felt so fucking bad, dude, the guy driving goes, fill your pockets up with beer, buddy.
Oh,
Take as many as you want. We're fucking hammered. And then I'm like, oh, I'm just going to take 3 because I already had like 6 or 7 beer on me. And then I'm like, oh, I was fucking like, I was stealing from these guys. And they gave me a ride into town. They're really nice. And they're like, hey, you're underage. Have some fucking alcohol, dude. I felt so fucking bad, but I showed up at the party with the only 14-year-old with fucking so much beer he could barely walk.
Right.
Yeah.
Good times, good times.
And Natso over here was saying he's got a 72 Chevy Cheyenne with all the bells and whistles.
Oh, nice.
That's great. I had my ex's dad actually gave it to me, and I fixed it up but he is the original owner. It was a 1972 or 3 Chevy stepside pickup
Nice.
with a 350 big block. Ah, that was it. Fucking putting that thing together was so awesome. Fixing
Remember
it
my
up.
woodshop teacher I was talking about the first day, the first podcast episode?
Yep.
Yeah, he was building an old 57 stepside at his house.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's considerably older than the one I had, but
How
Yeah, those
how
are the
old are you,
old
man?
school
Like
ones.
what kind
I'm
of
23.
generation? You're 20. Okay, you're a youngster.
Yes, I'm
With the shop teachers from the like, once again, I'm 40, so the shop teachers from the 90s, what I can put it at is they were fucking awesome, dude. We're
Yeah.
talking guys who are in their 50s and
Yeah.
60s, and they just did not give a fuck.
yeah, because you're like about the same age as me, aren't you?
Here's the thing though. So like the school that I went to that had the wood shop and the auto shop
Yeah.
was CDO in Tucson, and that was still in Oro Valley, but it wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily the rich part of Oro Valley. But then I transferred over to Ironwood Ridge, and they also had the JTED programs, but their JTED programs were all like graphic design,
Yeah.
journalism and shit like
The
that.
gay shit.
Yeah, there's the gay. The graphic design was fun though, because I always fucked around in that class and made some retarded shit
Yeah.
on Photoshop. That was great, and they had a lot of laughs.
The birthplace
But,
of another meme warrior.
Yes, dude, I cannot wait to get my own fucking computer again and just fucking get Photoshop for it. Oh, it's gonna be so great. I'm gonna make some weird shit.
Once you get started, it's so fucking hard to stop.
Oh hell yeah!
Every idea, every fucking idea.
I miss it.
I have these
I miss it so much.
I'm going to reply to somebody on Twitter or something. It's like, oh, hold on, I'll be back in 15 minutes when I come up with this awesome idea. Just let me look up this. Let me fucking yeah. Let me Photoshop this hat on this guy, and there we go. Fucking right. So your classes and courses.
What?
You were saying something about your classes and courses. I think you were heading somewhere with this.
Yeah, no, it's like the liberals, they don't want you to learn any shit that's actually going to be valuable to yourself, just valuable to other people.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, back in the 90s, we had the awesome shop teachers. I had a wood shop teacher that was like, and so yeah, it was in the 90s, so he was like a boomer, I guess. Maybe even pre-boomer. 'Cause he was probably like 50s.
Yeah.
And he was the coolest dude. We'd do all kind of shit. We'd go because the way the shop was, they had like a upper area you had to go up a ladder to get to, where they stored all the wood and shit. But we'd go up there and smoke weed and play Uno and shit.
Nice.
Yeah, when I was in, I think I was in grade 10, I got caught by my art teacher climbing out the fucking window.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't sneak out the doorway because there was people out there, so I went out. I used to go out the window, and she walks in, goes, "What do you think you're doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just getting some fresh air." Sit back down in your seat, no problems, nothing, whatever. You could get away with so much shit back then, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could say almost anything.
Was your art teacher hot?
No. Even
My art teacher was fucking hot, dude.
Yeah, mine was a babe too.
We had most of the teachers where I went to school were like 40 and up. So when you're 16, even now that I'm 40, I see a gal, I'm like, oh, she's all right looking. And I think if I was 16, I would not find that attractive at all.
Oh, Animal, no, that's not Patreon. It's me and Johnny Ketamine, Air Raid Siren, and Jamie Birch.
And on that note, I'll be back again. Hold on a second.
Oh, and it's 8 o'clock. I wonder what's going on. Let me see what's going on with this.
Oh yeah,
Biden's
yeah,
making the
that's right.
speech here.
See what this fucking old homo has to say.
Right. Hey, now I'm 7 subscribers away from my own custom
Based.
channel name. Should be able to find it here. Let me see. Let me see if this works. All right. Can you guys hear that? All right, in the chat. What the fuck? Alright, we're gonna come back to that in a little bit because I'm screaming bitches were fucking annoying. He's gonna piss me off any fucking way, so.
All right, what did I miss?
Nothing. That was looking, and they're about to do the Biden's about to make
shit,
his.
it's 8 already. Holy fuck.
Yeah, Biden's about to make his speech here. So, but I had the sound on for that. I don't. Can you guys hear that?
I don't hear
No, I
anything.
can't.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
Okay. You guys don't hear that screaming?
No.
Lucky you. So then you guys
Even
might.
that is screaming for Biden. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Or I
guess-
think they're more. I think they're more screaming for Kamala actually than they are for Biden.
I don't know if that's any better, to be honest.
I was about to
guarantee
say
it's
that
not.
might be worse.
I guarantee it's not better. Let me see. I'll try this.
Mexican president says it's too early to congratulate Biden.
Hey, even Mexico's saying fuck you.
Face.
Yeah, wasn't
Donald Trump. I vote for Donald Trump.
Hey, Donald Trump is a very good president. I like him very much.
I voted for Donald K. Trump.
I hate to keep doing the I'm old and I remember when back in the day it was so nice back then, but Mexicans used to be fun, man. Like,
Well, and if I remember correctly, me and you are approximately the same age, so.
yeah, like I just turned 40 this year, so it's
Yeah,
I'm
I
an
turned
80
42, so I'm
baby.
like 2
Yeah.
years older than you.
But like I don't know, it's some big degeneracy. But if you remember Cheech and Chong, Cheech Marin made a movie called Born in East LA.
Yeah, I remember that movie.
Yeah, and it's the whole thing is about him accidentally getting deported and trying to get back home. It's fucking pretty funny. They used to be able to laugh at that shit, right?
Yeah.
And the kind of the media representatives of the different ethnic groups, we could have a laugh with them. And it's the
Because
same-
they had like some self-awareness about fucking no, why is it different? Let me see.
I think a lot of them still do. But the like the ones who come here and work, but their kids, they're like I think that's where most of the problems lie. Like the worst ones are the kids.
yeah. Well, I mean,
The ones who were born here.
Yeah.
that's honestly like that's a never-ending problem, right? And this goes to every ethnic group. When you have successful parents, you end up with shitty kids a lot of the time.
Yeah.
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 It's like there's where I live, there's a lot of Portuguese, okay, and their parents all worked in construction and did bricklaying and concrete and blah blah blah. And they're hard working. They keep their yards like immaculate, like beautiful fucking yards. They got these little bungalows,
Yeah.
little brick houses, and they're tiny little houses, and they're fucking beautiful. Everything is where it's supposed to be. They're good neighbors. They don't cause any fucking problems, and their kids are shit. Absolute fucking shit. They're the guys. No, they're the guys going to the fucking dance clubs, and they got fucking guns on them, and they're doing coke, and there's shootings and all this shit. And like, you're not, you know, joggers. You're not jogger Americans, man. Why are you acting like it? Why are you being like that?
Yeah.
Right? And look at how good your fucking parents are.
Yeah.
But they had everything handed to them. They didn't have to fucking work for anything.
Yeah.
You know? And so you do that with less industrious people and less industrious people, and it's going to get worse and worse and fucking worse, right? But
Yeah.
like in Canada, we have this fucking influx of you know, Mid-Eastern and East Indian, Pakistani, and Africans, and they're elevated to the status of media personalities, and they're just fucking, they're all shit tier. They're all fucking shit tier.
Yeah.
You know, they've taken the who's that guy? Who the fuck is that guy? Chris Rock. They took the Chris Rock fucking school of I'm oppressed even though I'm a multimillionaire. There's a bit he used to do. There's a bit he used to do about the neighborhood he moved into. And he goes,
Yeah.
you know, as a black man, I moved into this. You know, I've been real successful, and I moved into this neighborhood, and my neighbor's a dentist. And he never thinks for a second that maybe that, I mean, this is the United States, maybe that dentist, works his ass, he's probably Jewish, by the way, but maybe he works his ass off. Maybe he owns 20 fucking dental offices.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, maybe he brings in more money than you do, you fucking retard. Like, you're entitled fucking ass. I should be living in the fucking, man, Wakanda, man. Fuck you, man.
Yeah.
God,
Even he's not woke enough. That's why I got banned off a bunch of college campuses, though, too.
Yeah, which is funny because he's a absolute fucking little weasel. But yeah, no, he's not. But you got to remember when you look at it's like the Dave Chappelle thing kind of made waves for a while there. But if you sit and listen to it, like he's not one of us. He's not that woke. You know what I mean?
No, he hates white people.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't let that, you know,
Straight up, yeah.
just because they're getting shit from the same people that give us shit doesn't mean they're on our fucking side. They just get mad that your people are supposed to be fucking. Your people are supposed to be fucking kissing my toes because I'm a successful Negro. What the fuck is going on? That's why they're mad.
Yeah.
You notice Dave Chappelle went on a fucking he went AWOL. Remember when the Chappelle show was so big? They said he went to Africa and he was like incognito and all this shit. You notice he didn't stay there?
Yeah.
He did not.
No, neither did Muhammad Ali. That's another funny guy.
Dude, sorry, I'm going to interrupt for just a second.
Yeah.
My neighbors are being so fucking loud. They're like partying right now.
Oh God, are they just partying or is it?
They're celebrating.
Oh.
They're an interracial couple.
Oh God.
So you can probably imagine why and what they're celebrating. But that's just.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, continue.
No, that is like this fucking like the disconnection from fucking reality. Like Trump.
It's astonishing.
Trump isn't like my guy. He doesn't have my fucking politics. The reason I like Trump was he fucking got everybody wound up. He says funny, stupid shit all the time. And B, he's a representation. He's a representation of the will of the fucking real fucking average person.
And he's a pretty epic troll too. But
that's true.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Like, another like a notable thing with him as well is like he doesn't have to be our guy necessarily because they treat him like he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
so, like for the other side, for all intents and purposes, he might as well be. You know what I mean?
This like when they
I
call.
mean, I don't necessarily agree with him either. Like, remember the Virginia Beach shooting thing? He said he didn't like the idea of legalizing suppressors. He's the one who kickstarted the whole bump stock ban. You know,
Yeah,
as
like,
you can see,
I-
he is in terms
like a
of,
bump stock is
you know,
gonna
he
change
does have
things,
some
for
of
fuck's
the
sakes.
establishment, and some establishment is inside of him. You know, in
But
terms of the
he's-
anti-Second Amendment stuff, but overall, he's not a threat to our Second Amendment entirely, and he's
No.
still the better choice for our country.
No, absolutely. But the important thing about him isn't even his policies so much. And when everybody got all wound up because he's, oh my God, he's following the Israeli line and he's got all these Jewish people on his side. That was not as important as people made it out to believe, because what he did or didn't do is less important than him existing as a symbol of our will to choose our destiny and say fuck you to the elites of the world.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing, and that's what has to be fought for, not him himself, but what he represents. Because all these lefties going on about, oh my God, we got to be careful because what comes next could be even worse. Yes.
Yeah.
Worse for them.
Fucking cross
For
things.
you.
Exactly.
Yeah, how much you want to bet Biden even going to show up for this goddamn thing?
Have he hasn't shown his fucking face at all? Oh, I'm looking at it now.
Because last night he did the same shit where he was supposed to make a speech and then they just put it on the screens.
How many Jeeps
Yeah,
are
2.5 hours later, they just show like a video. Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How many Jeeps are in the crowd?
A lot.
Yeah.
They haven't showed the crowd, but yeah, it's probably all Jeeps. All
With
brand
the
new Jeeps.
Jeep dealership. That's fucking weird, man. Like, I don't know. I haven't delved into that fucking conspiracy theory, but what the fuck? Why are you doing it at a Jeep dealership?
It's weird, man. It's like, it's not normal.
It's almost like we want you to notice how weird this is.
Yeah,
It's very strange.
Like, I'm not saying that that's why they're doing it, but that's what
I legit think that like, if it's not a humiliation ritual, then what other purpose could there be than to like just rub it in your face so hard, like this fake shit, other than to humiliate you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think more importantly is the mass. They're just throwing the least effort shit together because they're certain that the masses won't think, they won't even question.
Right.
It.
Yeah.
Right.
And they forget that there's too many fucking people now who, it doesn't matter how you shut us down on YouTube or Twitter or whatever else. There's too many people who are fucking waking up and going like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. Yeah, they don't have the...
Got to remember, like, people get into positions of power don't get there because they're necessarily the smartest and best people for that job.
No, definitely
almost never.
not.
Because if it was, that was the prerequisites that only the best people get into these positions, we would not know it was going on. And you and I would.
And also, if that was the case, Tulsi would have gotten a nomination, or at least like a person who means what they say. But like, that's not what they're interested in, clearly.
Yeah, but you could pick probably a fucking 1,000 people who better than Biden, who would toe the line and look better.
Literally everybody.
But they go, oh, this is the guy. Yeah, because wheelings and dealings with so-and-so and this fucking problem that they had and blah, blah, blah. And it's not that they have the smartest people picking the best person.
Yeah.
Simple as, right? Like,
yeah.
Once again, the people who are running the biggest banks and all that aren't there because they're the best people to do that. It's because of nepotism.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? Because honestly, would there still be a Rothschild in power if it was just based on ability? Probably not by this point. They might have been really devious and really intelligent at some point, but they're gonna get fucking too many retards.
Yeah, they've inbred all of those good genes out of their pool a long time ago.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. Like, and I don't like to be these, I don't like to be on the side of, oh, well, the reason the small hats are in power is because they're better. It's no, but they definitely have enough.
No, it's from in-group preference and
No, but they definitely had enough smart people at a certain time to get things done, because otherwise they wouldn't have got them done, right? Because we got plenty of enemies who hate us, who would love to subvert our culture, but those guys happen to have the right people at the right time.
Mm.
And it's not going to last forever. It doesn't last forever because you just fucking lose that. You lose that. You know, and think about what the all the wars, but you know, through the past few hundred years, but what World War I, World War II did to our genetic population, you know, our genetic pool, like it hurt it.
Yeah.
Can't deny it. It's not irreversible. It's not the end or anything like that, but it definitely made a huge mark. And we got to remember that this is going to happen to everybody at a certain point.
Yeah,
and honestly,
a big giant portion of the between World War II, Korea, and Vietnam, especially World War II and Vietnam, because we didn't have very many casualties in Korea, but it took out a big significant chunk of the like hardcore American gene pool there, you know.
Yeah, and it happened across the Western world almost, right? But once again, sometimes, and this is the only thing that we have to kind of, you know, go, it can be okay, because sometimes success is more detrimental than adversity, right?
Yeah.
Well, to a degree.
Well, the Roman Empire didn't fall because they were losing. The Roman Empire fell because they were successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be a cycle that it goes through, and all empires have gone through it.
Have you read Decline of the West by Spengler?
Maybe.
If you get a chance, read that shit, man. It's good. It's good. It's really academic because he was a fucking like autistic academic to the nth degree, but.
Yeah, if I read it as a while back, so I'd probably want to reread it.
Well, he has whole chapters on paint colors, for fuck's sakes, and what they represent. But I mean, like it gets a little in depth. But no, he describes the kind of arc of all these civilizations, right? And where, you know, eventually we're all gonna decline at some point. That doesn't mean it's over. It just means we hit that peak, and you know what? We have to figure out a way of getting past it or rebounding.
Well, yeah, like look at the British Empire. It hit its peak and it's way past peak now, but it's not like it didn't just like fall apart like Rome did, you know.
No, but it did.
It did, but Britain itself didn't fall apart. Well, it is now, but that's
it's actually doing similar things to what Rome did, which is importing foreigners, and replacing their own population, right? And they end up with an elite. You end up with an elite that is so disconnected from the population, because now they're rulers of not only this group, their home group, but now they're rulers of all these different people, and all they care about is ruling them.
Right.
They don't care, you know, they lose their connection to their own heritage.
Yeah.
Because they become international elites. And that happened to the Romans too.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden you can have a senator who's from Illyrium or Syria, who has the same status as a natural-born, full-blooded Roman.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they changed the camera angle, so maybe this boomer is coming on.
Uh-oh.
Let me see. No, they're not saying anything. Maybe they're just testing the camera angle or something to zoom.
This is supposed to start at 8, right?
Yeah.
22 fucking minutes. Like, who would... Okay. Who doesn't think that waiting 22 minutes for somebody who's supposed to start at 8? Like, who's not going, what the fuck, where's this dude?
Yeah. And you know these are the same morons that fucking... Alright, I'm not listening to that music for sure. But,
Bro, that crowd...
And you know it's the same morons that showed up,
Oh, what was that?
That showed up yesterday and all they got was a rinky-dink video.
Did I lose you guys?
No.
Yeah.
No, we hear you.
Something happened there anyways.
No, we hear you.
Oh, there you go. I lost audio there for a
Okay,
minute.
you lost us for a minute. That's what it was.
Oh. Yeah, okay, I have a notice coming up. Your internet connection is unstable. Well, so am I, so there we go.
Hey, we got something in common. I was just saying that it's funny because you know these are the same people that showed up to watch his ass yesterday,
Yeah.
and all they got was a rinky-dink video after probably well, how many people actually is it? To tell you the truth,
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
You guys follow Kiwi Bear on the Twitters?
I think so.
Yeah, he just posted this thing. I just liked it. I thought I'd read it here if it's okay. If Trump can't pull this off on his last day, he should pardon every white person to lob a few nukes at China. I think that's a. I gotta say, I'm kind of
on board with the pardoning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, my ability to multitask is limited, so I can't do too much of that watching Twitters while I'm talking.
Yeah, I was looking at Twitter while I'm waiting on this bone. There's some new Project Veritas stuff. Spoiled Bucks County ballots found in trash. Top county election official. So let's see. Hopefully it's not a video. The judge of elections didn't do it correctly. Pennsylvania law holds spoiled ballots for 22 months. Tom Freitag, the director. Alright, so it's not. I mean, it's enough. There's been plenty of enough for him to fucking invalidate all kinds of shit. You know what I mean?
Well, this computer program shit, that's huge, man.
And
That's
all
huge.
these fucking jackasses that computer program is huge. All these jackasses, where's your proof? I'm like, dude, they didn't let the observers in. How are you going to have the proof if they don't let you fucking, you know what I mean?
No, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not letting in the fucking homicide detective into the fucking crime scene and like, where's your proof? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somebody posted a picture from I think it was an Australian election, and they have their observers like fucking leaning over the shoulders of people. Like, they are right there. They're wearing these like reflector cover things. See them in construction, whatever the fuck they're called, and they have like whatever Australians call their inspectors, but it's something weird because they're Australian.
Yeah.
But they're like right there. They can look and see what everybody's fucking doing, and there's
Yeah.
Like, you can come in, but you stay back fucking 20 feet. I can't see what somebody's doing 20 feet away.
My mother-in-law ran for mayor of the little village that we live in here last year, and but they do all the elections like that, and because they got more than 2 parties, they got like 10 parties here or something. They got a bunch of parties, and I remember from every party is sitting there at the table counting ballots and everything, and like they do it. There's no way in hell that they're that all this bullshit's happening like that. And just the fact that they wouldn't let the Republicans in to fucking, you know.
And okay, think about this. So you're in Bulgaria?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, that's like a pretty homogenous society.
Yep.
Everybody's the same.
For the most part. Except
for
the gypsies, but yeah.
Well, they don't count. They're fucking irrelevant. They're just stealing children and fucking doing crime. I didn't say that. I did not mean that. The Roma are wonderful fucking people. Bring every kind of fucking diversity to the blah, 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 blah. Okay, anyways. Shit. But you have an ethnically homogenous society with probably somewhat higher trust in the United States right now.
Yeah.
Despite, the
Kamala
aftermath
came
of,
on stage here.
Yeah. Just despite the aftermath of communism. But
should we even listen to what this bitch is gonna say?
Yeah. I need the hate to fuel me. Is she holding dildos? Oh, those light sticks? Oh god.
Good evening.
What's
Good evening.
I just want to put a video to
I
this.
just
What are you watching this
someone
on?
with
I'm watching the Fox Business live stream.
Good evening. Thank you. Thank you. Good evening.
Let me find this.
Are you able to like
So,
pipe
thank
in
you.
like
Good
audio,
evening.
or do I need to pull it up?
You might need to
So-
pull it up. It's streaming the
Okay.
audio
Congressman
on the
John
stream.
Lewis, Congressman John
Oh,
Lewis,
okay.
before his passing,
Why is it?
wrote, "Democracy is not a state.
Man,
It is
that
an
fucking
act."
Oh.
face.
We'll
And
just
what
listen. We don't
he
have to look at
meant
her ass anyway.
Was that America's democracy is not guaranteed. It is only as strong as our
Who would
willingness
fucking vote for
to
that?
fight
Jesus.
for it.
Did you hear what she said? Was she talking to
To
us?
guard it and
What'd she
never
say?
take it for granted.
She said,
And protecting
our democracy is
takes
only as strong as our
struggle.
will to fight for
It
it.
takes sacrifice.
And to
Yeah.
guard it. I'm like,
But there
dude,
is
are you fucking
joy
talking to
in
our
it.
team?
And there
Yeah,
is
yeah.
Yeah.
progress.
He's like, you guys
Because
have to stop
we,
me from
the
getting into
people,
power.
Have the power
If you care about
to
your
build
democracy.
a better future.
Jesus. See, this is one of the reasons why 90% of the time I vote on
And
whoever's
when
most
our
attractive.
very
Because,
democracy
Because
was
you
on
gotta
the
look
ballot
at
ugly
them
in
for
this
4 fucking
election,
years.
yeah, like fucking
the
ugly,
very soul
awful
of
fucking
America
people.
Literal
was
shit
at stake.
skin.
And the world watching
I totally, if I was American, I would have been voting for Sarah
ushered
Sarah
in
Palin.
a new
Them
day
fucking
for
milkers, boy.
America.
Jeez, oh jeez. I could watch them for 4, 8 years, 16 years.
Yeah, those milk teas were top shelf.
To our campaign
Yeah.
staff and volunteers,
Yep, no
this
Chucky mode.
extraordinary
That's for
team,
sure.
thank you for bringing
Not
more
into the
people than
Chucky
ever
moo
before
juice.
into the democratic process.
But if they're gonna shove it in her face, at least make it fucking attractive.
Right.
and
Yeah.
for making this victory possible.
She kind of looks like
to the
a
poll
movie
workers
werewolf
and
or something,
election
ready to
officials across
halfway
our
through
country
transformation.
who have worked
The teeth are gonna pop
tirelessly
out
to
any
make
second,
sure
the hair's gonna
every
grow to the
vote
cheeks.
is counted. Our
Alright,
nation
I heard enough of this bitch. I'd rather listen to Biden than her to fucking, and that's saying a lot. You know
At
what
least-
I mean?
at
I
least-
just can't fucking stand her.
At least he
Nobody
says
can.
fuck-
That's why
fucking
she couldn't
funny
even
shit.
get fucking 1% of the Democrat fucking vote in fucking the
Yeah.
primaries. Like she was the first one to drop out because everybody
Yeah.
fucking hates her. You know?
Ain't
Yeah.
that fuck? They somehow managed to cram her into the position of the person who would become president if the president died. Weird how that
Yeah,
works.
I mean, no, they didn't. We all know they didn't. We all know this isn't flying. But they want to make it.
Yeah.
They want to give all them. The salt mine is going to be fucking epic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they really want people to think that they won and then steal it out from under them. You know what I mean? Because, and it
Yeah.
wouldn't have worked as well as on our side. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have worked
Yeah.
as well the other way around because we'd be like, oh, this isn't going to last. You know what I mean? So that's why they had to do it. And
Yeah.
plus, we don't take the bait they've figured out. You know, they've been trying to fucking throw the
Okay.
bait at us forever. And we're like, well, no, we built this fucking system. We're going to use it the way we fucking intended. You know? I'm not going to let you just fucking
Yeah.
throw it to the wind because fucking your jackass said something to fucking say. You know?
Yeah.
But I don't even know if I want to make it to this old bummer because it's
Dude.
3:30. It's 3:30 a.m. here, so
I'm gonna have to cut out. I have to cut out in a minute. My kids want to watch Lost Boys, the movie. If you guys have seen that,
Nice.
It's an awesome
I'm gonna have
fucking
to-
movie.
yeah, and
Nice.
I'm gonna have to.
That's some good kids you got there, sir.
I'm gonna have to try to restrain myself from explaining to the kids what the Hollywood fucking pedo elite did to those two Corys, and
Oh God, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Who the real vampires are?
Yeah.
ain't that something? That it's funny. That whole story kind of got fucking buried, eh?
which
There's
one?
even
Oh, the
fucking-
Corys,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but who's that little short guy with the fucking that actor who he came out and he did something about the fucking pedos. Oh shit! What the hell was that guy? He was in the Lord of the Rings stuff.
Oh,
Elijah Wood?
Elijah Wood.
Wood,
Yeah.
yeah.
He even came out talking about
Oh
that.
yeah, Elijah Wood. That was like a big thing.
Dude, and nobody even fucking talks about that anymore.
What happened?
Oh, he came out with some statement about all the pedophilia and shit in Hollywood.
yeah. He
Damn.
said that the only reason he didn't get fucking molested is because his mom wouldn't let him go to any of the parties and shit.
Yeah.
I can't believe that fucking.
Huh.
I can't believe Biden. See, there's a reason they know but this is about to get taken from them, and
I
they're
think
still
so.
doing this fucking.
Yeah.
And they're still doing this acceptance speech and victory speech. You know what I mean? It's fucking.
Dude,
like,
I can't believe they're even
it's so
doing this.
blatant.
Like, they did not win.
And they know it. They know it clear as fucking day.
They're
There's no
literally
way in
just
hell
going
they
to
think that.
gaslight the fucking country into accepting it, and
Yeah.
it's blowing my mind. I'm sorry. This is
Dude.
like filling me with bile right now.
The turnout for Trump was even better than I had hoped.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was
It was
better than I
huge.
fucking hoped.
It was huge,
And,
and I
yeah.
think that was part of it that they weren't counting on as how big of a turnout they were going to get
Oh,
for
yeah,
Trump.
fucking-
So then they had to fake it more than they expected, and they ended up
Yeah.
with like 100 and something % fucking voter turnout
Right,
from
yeah,
like
dude.
5 states. and
Oh, look
shit.
at her eyes. Her eyes are so black. Like a doll's eyes.
Hmm.
Who's honking?
That's somebody in my. Okay, it stopped.
No, I closed that stream. I'm like, fuck this. Tired of that bullshit. I'm looking to see
my
what
neighbors are
else is going
fucking
on.
spurting out.
I'm looking to see what else is going on now, so I'm like, fuck this shit. I already know what they're gonna say. There's nothing to fucking say. You know what I mean? They're gonna act like they fucking won when they know they fucking did it, and these fucking morons are gonna eat it up. You know what I mean? Because they like
Yeah.
Yeah.
can't see what's right in front of their goddamn face. You know?
At this point, like, I'm not an accelerationist, but I mean, like, if they steal the election, it really, I mean, it doesn't make that much of a fucking difference. We're kind of going down a spiral as it happens, but I want Trump to win at this point, just for the second chance to get all that fucking salt, man.
Yeah. Well, we're about to get some
Yeah.
serious salt mines over the
Oh,
next
yeah,
few
like-
weeks because
Like it's going. They're getting so confident,
Mm-hmm.
and all the little like dopey fucking all these dopey little fucking liberals are like, oh yeah, how do you like that? You know, cry a little bit more. Coat fucking Trump fucking Trump lover and blah blah blah. And it's like, oh, just wait, just fucking wait.
Just fucking wait.
And
you know what I mean?
and the actual, and I think one of you guys, or I think Walrus, you might have said this earlier, but it's like if they actually fucking pull the steal,
Yeah.
they're still not gonna like it.
Yeah.
It's gonna fucking blow
It's
up.
not gonna-
Yeah.
So bad.
Exactly. It's not gonna. Yeah.
And in all honesty, if they wanted to be happy, they would, like I don't mean the elite rulers, but the masses. If they wanted to actually be happy and live their lives in a way that they get enjoyment out of, they would let Trump fucking win, just so that they could cry and scream and do their little things in their cars, and because if they don't have that, what do they have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
Dude, the fucking Pennsylvania is such a shit show. And
Yeah.
we think we won because of Pennsylvania. You're out of your fucking mind. And Michigan and Wisconsin are just as bad. You know what I mean? I think
you
they
guys-
gave up on Georgia because the Georgia legislature is like, fuck you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But actually, so was the Pennsylvania legislature.
Yeah.
I was watching a video about that. Like, they
What I was going to ask is that you guys would have a better idea of this, but I can't believe Pennsylvania, the population of Pennsylvania, allowing that. Like, is that not a kind of a
Yeah.
resource state, mining and fucking
There's
oil
gonna
and
be
gas
some
state.
shit kicking off in Pennsylvania.
Like that's
It's not like a southern
Yeah.
state like Georgia. Georgia what is going to be a shit show because that's one of the most well-armed states in the fucking country.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that would have got real fucking spicy real fucking quick, let me tell you.
yeah.
Yeah.
They ain't having that shit.
Oh my God.
All right, I got to call it a night, boys. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. Take
All
it
right,
easy.
man.
Yeah, it's good talking to you, bro.
Really appreciate it. Have me on again if you want. And
Definitely, anytime. You got a standing invitation. I'll be doing these every day, so.
oh, right on, man. Right on. I'll actually be more available tomorrow. So if you're interested, let me know. Send me a message.
Cool. Yeah,
Everybody
I'll
who was
probably,
listed?
because there'll be more shit to talk about. Well, we didn't even get to the other stuff besides the election. Well, we talked about
Yeah.
cars for a while. That was cool.
Yeah, we kind of got off.
Yeah.
Got off track.
Yeah, that's kind of how I roll. So.
Good times, brother. Well, we were having chats on SciTube about music for hours there the one time, so we can do that. We can get off track easy. You're like me.
Right.
All right, guys, go and watch Lost Boys
Yeah.
with the kids. Take it easy.
All
Have a
right,
good night.
bud.
All right. See you.
Bye.
Later. And yeah, I think I'm gonna have to call it a night too. So
All right.
there's like, let me see what's going on D Live. There's only like 2 lemons in the chest, so I'll just leave them till tomorrow since I
All
don't know
right.
how many people are in there. But thank you guys for showing up, and we'll be back again
You're welcome.
tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And like, share, subscribe, all that crap that everybody always says. And
Smash that like button.
smash that
Yeah,
motherfucking
dude.
like button.
Smash it.
All right,
All right, man. Thanks for having me again. I'll talk to you guys later.
Take it easy.